This is the Patriots Catch-22 podcast with Evan Lazar and Alex Barth.
I'm Evan Lazar. Hello, everybody.
Nailed it. Joined as always by Alex Barth.
That's a fit. That's a match.
No risk it, no biscuit.
22. Here is Evan Lazar and Alex Barth.
I don't know if these guys are truly playmakers. Like, would I call them a playmaker or not?
I think Ramondre and Dobbs have the potential to be.
So do you think more so than Henderson?
I mean, define playmakers. A big play threat or like consistent volume,
That's the question.
Right. Like Henderson's a big play threat, but he's not a guy that consistently makes plays. Romeo Dobbs is somebody I think could be in the, 100 catch range this year. So that's pretty consistently making plays, but he's not somebody I'd consider like a game breakers. And I think you need both. I think you can't only have guys that are chain movers and guys that are consistent down to down, but not big play threats. Don't think you can only have big play threats either.
Alex, we got a lot of comments on that discussion
People
from
were
last
not
week's show.
happy about that.
That's good. That's why we do those exercises, is to get people into the show and involved and fired up, and that's the point. That's the point of having a radio show, is to get people involved in the conversation. But I will say this, the one comment that I saw, and it's Alex behind the glass, it's Evan Lazar, Patriots Catch-22. The one thing I will say is that Drake May cannot count as the quarterback and a playmaker. Yes,
it's a separate thing.
He is a playmaker, but we already gave them the box checked at quarterback because they have Drake May. He can't count as both.
The idea is talent around him.
Yeah, I saw a lot of comments that were like, well, Drake May's a playmaker. That's one. And it's like, no, he's the quarterback. The playmakers are your wide receivers, your tight ends, your running backs. We talked a little bit about this yesterday on PU. I don't know if you saw Bill Barnwell's list, but Bill Barnwell had the Patriots with the 10th best skill group in the NFL. So wide receivers, running backs, tight ends.
I think it was 10th best in the NFL. Weren't they second in the AFC?
I didn't look at the list that way, but
there was one. I don't know if it
right.
was the Barnwell one. There was one I saw where the Patriots ranked 10th, but second in the AFC.
So they had the 10th best skill group in the NFL, and I just thought it was interesting that it came out right off the heels of us doing that exercise last week. It was pretty notable as we were going back and forth on the playmaker category. The one thing that Barnwell, two things. If you look at where they were the previous 2 years, I think it was 30th and 31st in his rankings, and then you go, and this is all obviously Drake May's career so far. 31st, 30th, 10th. That just shows the roster improvement that they've had year over year, which I think is impressive. And he also just talked about how deep they are now at wide receiver. And I think that's a good shout. They've really become one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in football. We'll see if they maintain all that depth with Kayshon Boutte, and we'll get to that sort of stuff. But anyways, I thought that was notable, and we can continue that discussion if you guys still have opinions on that as well. But today, for today's exercise on today's show, I wanted to do QB tiers. So I ranked all 32 starting quarterback situations because some teams have competitions, uncertainty, who's going to start. All 32, I put them into my tiers. You know how I like to tiers things. I don't like to rank things. I like to tier them. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiers. So I want to start from the bottom and work our way up to build the suspense of where I have Drake May. So I have the lowest one I have, the lowest tier, Alex, is you need a new quarterback. just you need a new quarterback.
Not the guy.
Not the guy. Not the long-term answer. I then have too soon, like these are rookies or second-year guys where it's just too soon to tell if they're the guy or not. I have the fraud watch category, which is my personal favorite category. These are guys that have had some success in the NFL, but are on fraud watch. They might be for various reasons. I have another category that I would say is like the middle class, and it's just, yeah, sure. Like I'm not blown away. I have an elite franchise quarterback.
It's a starting quarterback.
But
you
I'm
have
good.
a starting.
Yeah, sure. That category. Then we get into what I would call the great have an argument for top 10 category, and then the elite category. So those are my categories for these quarterbacks. We're also going to do some NFL over-unders. We've been going through the league, the AFC East, more specifically over the last couple of weeks. So I pulled a bunch of win total over-unders for the teams in the AFC, not just the AFC East, but also the other contenders, if you will, in the AFC. I want to discuss with Alex if we think that those teams are going to go over or under their win total. So that's the agenda for today. Your calls and emails, obviously, as well, at podcast@patriots.com and 855-PATS-500. We also had, and we can maybe get into this in the second hour, we had a very spirited Celtics discussion just now with Paul and No Socks in the green room, if you will, down the hall here. Very spirited discussion.
Good basketball talk. Where we probably should have recorded that. I don't know. There's a lot of yelling. That might have been bad radio, maybe. But in the second hour of the show, if you want to talk Celtics, you want to talk World Cup, USA, Bosnia, Herzegovina tonight, then we can talk that as well if you want to go, non-football too. But let's start with these QB tiers. So here's, I want to start at the bottom and then work my way up. So this is my you need a new quarterback tier. These guys, in my opinion, are not the answer. So Malik Willis in Miami, Geno Smith with the Jets. Right? Yeah. Those are not long-term answers, right, by any means. I wrote down Deshaun Watson for the Browns because I think that they're actually going to give him his job I
back.
think we could just say Browns, whoever, just Browns.
That's wild, but I think that is.
Well, you should just call this category the Cleveland Browns. This is just the Cleveland Browns
forever.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson / Shador / whichever quarterback Cleveland starts. I put Aaron Rodgers in this category. I think it's over. I think that's.
I mean, look. They're going to need a new quarterback after the year. Like what?
Toast. I think he's toast. I think even last year that team barely made it to the playoffs. He didn't want to get hit. He didn't really want to throw the ball down the field. The ball was coming out so quickly because he didn't actually want to stand in the pocket and let anything
like
develop.
Another year later.
Yeah, I just feel as though that team. England, love it.
Were they playing here?
The Congo.
Oh, this would be an upset. There's
it.
so much sports going on. We got Connolly early on the IL, Celtics signing Mitchell Robinson, NHL free agency just opened.
I would love an England upset. That would be fantastic.
At the World Cup. These games have been really good. I love the penalty kicks. Did you see the thing where the German guys didn't want to take the kick?
Yeah.
Wild.
So let's get back to what. Sorry, that was distracting.
The German team needs new quarterbacks.
German team. So Aaron Rodgers, I think we're both in agreement. Maybe for one more year he can be serviceable, but it's time. It's time.
So the question is, are we doing like big picture just for this year? I would give him serviceable for this year. And he almost got him the playoffs last year. Or did get him the playoffs, I should say.
I mean, with one of the most anemic pea shooter offenses in the league.
He got him there.
It was bad.
He got him there. I'd call him serviceable, but if we're doing long term, like they will need a new quarterback in 2027. The
Atlanta Falcons, Penix and Tua. Right now is that competition. I don't think either one of those guys is the answer. I'm sorry to say I'm Penix too. I was a believer in him too. Maybe not as strongly as you, but I believed in him.
Well, I believed in him short of what was my whole thing with him. If he's healthy.
Yeah. It hasn't just been he hasn't been great when he's been healthy either.
Yeah, I know it's part of it, but he hasn't had the time to work.
Old friend Jacoby Brissett in the Arizona Cardinals, assuming he is the starter in Arizona. Out. Not going to do it. Not going to cut it. This last one I thought about a little bit, but because I like to confirm our priors, Alex, and dance on when we're right, Kyler and J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota. I just don't think that either one of those guys is a long-term answer there.
They also hate each other, which is going to make that worse. I don't know, some of the quotes that came out of Minnesota this spring.
Yeah. All of it's bad.
I'll take my lumps on Penix. I was dead right on J.J. McCarthy.
We nailed that one. J.J. McCarthy, Kyler Murray. So you have, just from a team perspective, which I think is maybe easier for this tier, teams that are going to probably be quarterback teams in the 2027 offseason. Dolphins, Jets, Browns, Steelers, Falcons, Cardinals, Vikings. That's how I feel about that group.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I think that's...
So some of these guys are in the fraud watch category. We might get there. But I think as of today, it's still good enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So That's the group in terms
I have
of,
one more team two more teams that might be quarterback teams in 27, but I think they don't belong in that tier.
Yeah, no, this is like your quarterback is below replacement level. This guy is bad at that position.
Right. I think there might be two more teams that find that out.
So Aaron Rodgers is the one
But
guy
we're not
that
there
I
yet.
went back and forth with on.
Yeah,
just 'cause
I still think he's serviceable. You have
was
to give him serviceable.
He was probably like the 24th or 25th best quarterback in the league last year and got the team to the playoffs. We'll see. Okay, next category, next tier. Too soon. Just young bucks, too soon, first or second year quarterbacks. Cam Ward, Fernando Mendoza, Jackson Dart, Tyler Shuck. We don't have enough information on those guys yet.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say a positive or a negative. They're right in the middle of those two things. We'll see. Next tier here is the frauds, the fraud watch. Jalen Hurts. I have Jalen Hurts in this category. I watched a lot of Eagles tape when the Patriots acquired A.J. Brown. I have a lot of concerns about Jalen Hurts at this stage of his career. I think the Eagles do too, both personality-wise and play-wise. Really has one trick, and that's to throw a go ball down the sideline. Doesn't really do much else extremely well. Isn't as mobile as he once was. So Jalen Hurts on this list. I think these two quarterbacks are kind of similar. Hurts won a Super Bowl, so maybe a little bit better. But C.J. Stroud. I also think C.J. Stroud's a little bit on fraud watch, especially after that playoff performance last year. The interceptions in the playoffs really started to add up.
Yep.
If you're the Houston Texans, how great do you feel right now about paying C.J. Stroud?
That's one of the more interesting situations in the NFL right now. I'm actually fascinated to see how that plays out.
I just feel as though there's been some good football with both those guys, Hurts and Stroud, but I got my eye on them. I'm skeptical right now of whether or not those guys are long-term solutions at that position. Next one here is similar. Bryce Young, same thing.
Yeah.
Has had some spurts, has had some flashes, has had some good stretches of football, but still, to me, I'm starting to really question whether or not he's the long-term guy. And then maybe the biggest in the fraud watch category that I was tempted to move down was Daniel Jones, who basically was good for 8 weeks and then got hurt, and we have no idea if he's good enough.
Jones is one of those guys where I could see the Colts becoming a quarterback team at the end of the year. I really don't know what's going to happen with him. And they paid him. They're in a tough spot.
Yeah. So the other way I kind of broke this up too, as we get into the Yashers, I think the other way that is interesting here is kind of like, would you give these guys the big contract or not? And I think that, moving forward, Stroud, Young, I know Daniel Jones kind of signed that big contract, but I think a lot of that was kind of fugazi in terms of the money and the guarantees long term. I don't know if I would give C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young a long-term contract at this point, and both those teams have decisions to make this offseason on both those guys.
I think that the Stroud one's a little more complicated because you've seen the ceiling.
He's been better than
right.
Bryce Young.
And Stroud, I feel pretty now. Whether or not C.J. Stroud is the kind of guy you pay. We used to talk about this when every single quarterback was getting a record-setting contract. Remember this? It was during the Mac Jones era, and eventually one of these guys, either a team's going to have to move on from a serviceable quarterback, or somebody's going to have to get a non-record-breaking deal. Like Bryce Young fits in there to me. I think he's a legit starting quarterback. I think he's a guy that you can win with, but he's obviously not you could do better. You've seen the ceiling with Stroud, and that's what makes it that much tougher because if he can get back to that guy, it is a no-brainer you pay him. He's not just a guy you can win with. He's a guy you can win because of. But it's been a couple years since he's been that guy.
Yeah.
So what happens there?
One of the more perplexing career arcs that we've seen, usually when you're really, really good as a rookie, and I would say on the scale, like Mac Jones had a good rookie year. C.J. Stroud was really, really good as a rookie, won a playoff game as a rookie, was better than Mac Jones as a rookie. It doesn't usually fall out from underneath you this quickly as it has with Stroud. Some of that's probably to do with the Texans. They've had some coaching changes, some roster turnover. They have struggled to figure out the offensive line. They've had injuries at wide receiver, all those things. But Hurts, Stroud, Young, Daniel Jones, fraud watch. I got my eye on you. I want to see more, and I'm not sure if I'm hitching my wagon to you guys long term right now. The Yashers, the good enough. We're over the Mason-Dixon line now, right? Like
I don't know that that's the proper usage
enough.
of that, but okay.
Yeah, it is.
South to north is okay. I get it.
Yeah. Caleb Williams.
I'd say the Mendoza line.
Sure, the Mendoza line. We're over the Mendoza line. Is that better?
You know what the Mendoza line is, right?
Yeah, it's like 200 or something batting average.
Yeah, to be good enough to hit in baseball, to be in the lineup.
All right. Caleb Williams,
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, and begrudgingly, I put Bo Nix in this tier as well.
I mean, you have to.
I think those guys are all good enough. Do I think that they are all win because of? Do I think that they are driving buses? No.
Give me that list again.
Caleb,
Yep.
Trevor,
Yep.
Lawrence,
Yep.
Sam Darnold,
Yep.
Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield, Bo Nix.
So I'm curious what your next. Maybe these two are tweeners. I feel like Caleb Williams and Baker Mayfield are a step above the rest of that group.
So Baker,
Maybe half a step above.
now maybe it was injury related, but this happens with Baker. Baker was an MVP candidate for the first month of the season last year, and then him and the Bucks completely fell off a cliff.
Well, they lost a lot of talent.
They lost some
him.
guys.
He was hurt, and they lost. I'd still go with Baker Mayfield any day. Baker Mayfield can play.
Yeah, he's in my you can play category.
He's
not a
doing
top
more,
10
but
quarterback in the NFL.
He might be.
But that's where
He might be 10, but he might be.
okay, well, I think all these guys that are in this next tier are better than him. But
Okay. I need to hear that. Maybe those two are in between. I think Caleb Williams and Baker Mayfield are a step above those guys, but they also might be a step below the next group you're going to give.
they are.
They're
And
kind of
Caleb.
You need like a 1A and 1B here.
So Caleb, I will allow to say has the most likely outcome from this tier to go up.
Okay.
Right? Like because he's young still, he's only going into his third year. Caleb is at this point to me is in this category in terms of his play, but his upside is much higher than this. His upside's top 10 quarterback in the league, which is why he was the number one pick in the draft a couple of years ago. So these are there's actually 11 guys, but this is like great. Definitely has an argument to be a top 10 quarterback tier.
Yeah, see, I would say Baker and Williams have an argument to be top 10.
No. Baker was not good last year. After the first.
I don't know.
6 weeks of the
I'm a
season.
Baker guy.
He's
I
a
guess
gamer.
it's-
He's a gamer.
I
but
value that. And I usually hate short quarterbacks. I'm a sizeistic quarterback. Baker's like the exception to me.
Caleb, I could hear that argument for. Baker, I think you're a little too high on. I would actually make a better argument for Brock Purdy over Baker.
I'm lukewarm on Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy's he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, what happened? You hated Brock Purdy.
He's gotten a lot better. He's improved a lot. Now, some of that, you will never know if his efficiency is driven by Kyle Shanahan or if it's driven by Brock Purdy. Like, those two things go hand in hand, and we can't remove one from the other. But he has gotten a lot better. I would say in this tier right now, I'd probably say Brock Purdy's the best quarterback in that tier. So, top 10 argument, guys. Justin Herbert,
Yeah.
Dak, Jordan Love, Jared Goff. I think those guys are all made men. I think they're all very good quarterbacks
Say it
in this
again?
league. Herbert,
Yep.
Dak,
Yep.
Jordan Love,
Yeah.
Jared Goff.
I was waiting for Goff. Okay, yes.
Made men. Not elite. They're not in that category. They're not blue chippers, but
I
they're
feel
all
like
very
I
good.
would put
Herbert might be elite.
I would put Baker, Caleb Williams, and Love in a category in between these two.
Okay.
Because Jordan Love's the opposite of Baker Mayfield. Like, he's okay to start the season, and then Toyotathon starts, and he goes on a tear.
Jordan Love, I was hesitant about putting in this tier.
I would-
almost had him
like
in the
you did,
Ashers.
like you did with my ranking the games. Remember when we were trying to
Yes.
find what a coin toss was? I'm going to create my own categories. I'm going to create one in between these two. That's Baker, Caleb Williams, and Jordan Love.
I was pretty close to putting him in the Ashers, Jordan Love.
Okay. I think if you put him in the Ashers, it makes Baker and Caleb Williams' presence there make more sense.
Okay, that's fair. I think Jordan Love's peaks are so high that I felt like it moved him up a notch.
I'd say the same thing about Baker, but his peaks come later in the year, so I guess you give some bonus for that.
Yeah, he's had better playoff performances.
That's fair.
things
That's
like
fair. I would put the three of them. I consider three of them. Well, Caleb Williams is different because you're putting a lot on projection, but I would put the three of them in relatively same standing.
That's fair. I'll allow that. All right, elite. Now this is young elite category. I separated the tiers of the elite because I feel like there's the young elite guys and then there's like the established elite guys.
Okay.
So Drake May and Jaden Daniels are both young elites.
That's fair.
They both had one MVP caliber season each.
Yeah.
We'll see. Jaden Daniels did not have a good year 2. Drake May's year 1 for a lot of nothing to do with him. in year one as a rookie for Drake May. But at the end of the day, he's done it once. Jaden Daniels has done it once. We've seen both those guys be elite quarterbacks in this league for one single season. So I wouldn't put them in like the full on S tier elite category just yet, because I need to see it a little bit more from both of them. So the full on elite tier category for me, number one tier, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I still put Mahomes here, but I kind of thought about it. He hasn't, I don't know if he's been there recently. Matthew Stafford, Joe Burrow. Those to me are the 5 best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, Stafford, Burrow. And I think that May and Daniels are knocking on that door. Whoever replicates it, their MVP caliber season first.
Yeah.
I would have there. But top 5, Allen, Lamar, Mahomes, Stafford, Burrow. I'd probably then go May, Daniels, Herbert, Dak, Love, Goff. That's 11. So those are my tiers. I think that you brought up some interesting points about Jordan Love and Baker and Caleb. Caleb, I definitely give the most.
I think you need one more tier in there.
Okay. I already had 6, so I was trying not to make
No,
too many
all right,
tiers.
that's fair.
But if you have comments on those, we can take those as well. If you think I'm very, very wrong, which I'm sure some people do, we'll take that feedback too. Want to do some over-unders?
Let's do some over-unders, yeah.
Open the
we'll
show
open
up.
it up.
So we've done some AFC East, around the AFC East exercises. So let's start with the AFC East. We'll do the Patriots last. The Patriots and the Bills, when I checked this on DraftKings yesterday, had the same exact win total, 10.5. Bills are at 10.5 right now on DraftKings.
I think that's fair.
Are they over or under, though?
The Bills?
Yeah.
I'll say over. I think they get to 11.
I think they're an 11.
I've said 11. I think I've said 11 every time you've asked me, so.
I think it's a pretty good line to set.
That is about right.
They're a 10 or 11
They're
win
in a
team.
10. I think that's what I've said. I'll go over just to surprise you, and I'll say
did
over, but I think you're sweating that one out till they play the Jets week 18.
Right. They might play a meaningless game at the end of their schedule. I'm going to go over 2, shocker. I know I'm picking the over. The Jets, 5.5 on the Jets, over under.
I'm going to go over. I think their defense will win them some games.
I'm going to go over 2. I really kind of like what the Jets are doing. They don't have a quarterback.
Except at quarterback.
And they don't, and head coach. We have to mention that as well. Like, I am not sold on Aaron Glenn as the head coach, and we already know the Geno thing. He was in my you need a new quarterback category.
Right.
That's not going to work
But
long
could
term.
they be like
A frisky 6-11 team? Yes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the comparison from last year. Could they be like the Saints, who only won 6 games but were a tough out?
Yeah.
And the Saints did it more with offense than defense, but could they be like they were like no 500 teams in the NFL last year. Everybody was really good or really bad.
Yeah, I feel the same about the Jets. I can see a vision with the Jets of what they're building around the quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, we've said that about the Jets in the past. When they drafted Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner and Breece Hall and all these guys, it was always, they have a great roster, good defense, good skill players, but they don't have a quarterback. And Zach Wilson wasn't their quarterback. And, going back to Sam Darnold, he wasn't their quarterback. So we've been here before with the Jets, where they have a nice roster, but they don't have a quarterback. So we'll see. I'm going over. I think the Jets are a 6-win team. The Dolphins, 4.5. I'm going under.
I'm going under.
I think the Dolphins might be the worst team in football.
They're going to be in the running for it. They're certainly going to be in the running for it.
I think they're a 3 or 4 win team.
Yeah, probably.
Like number 1 pick.
And when you look at the schedule and all of that, I'm going to take the under on Miami.
Agreed. Patriots, 10.5.
I'm going to go over. I think they're also probably 10, 11, just like Buffalo.
You're such a homer.
You going under?
No, I'm going over. I think the Patriots are getting... There's too much market correction on the Patriots the other way. Like, everybody's talking about the regression and how they're
you were talking about that.
Regress to the mean.
You were talking about that 2 weeks ago.
Too much market correction there. I'm going to say...
That was you.
Well, what do you mean?
That was you when we did Bills Patriots. That was you. You're the one who did all that.
I said that I need to see it again, which I do.
Right.
That doesn't
I think
mean,
they win. I think the Patriots and Bills both win 11 games.
You think they both win 11 games?
I think they both win 11 games.
So who wins the division?
What's the tie? I think they're going to split their games. What's the tiebreaker after?
Probably division record.
You know what? The Bills always screw up in Miami. I think the Patriots win.
The Bills always screw them. The Patriots don't have a great record in Miami either.
Yeah, but the Patriots get to play them in Miami. Isn't that? Oh, no, it's not the last game of the year. When
No,
do the Bills play in Miami?
The
Let's
Patriots
see.
play Miami in like November, right?
In November. It's not too bad. The Bills
Yeah.
play in Miami January 3rd. That's a trap game. It's coming off the Broncos on Christmas.
I think that would make sense, right? It's overall record, head-to-head record, division record, because it is for the division.
I think so. I think
would
you're
think
right.
the
I should know this. Two clubs. Head-to-head, best one loss. Yeah, games within the division.
Yeah, I thought so. So you have the Patriots winning the tiebreaker to win the division.
Winning the second tiebreaker.
Because the Bills inexcusably lose to the Dolphins late in the season.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree.
Well, and then the tiebreaker after that is common opponents, which I think the Patriots did have that tiebreaker last year.
So I understand why you came at me for saying that I am talking about regression for the Patriots. Winning 11 games is still 3 games worth
fair.
of regression.
I subscribe to that take that everybody's given at this point, which is better team, worse record.
I subscribe to it too, but I think that there's a middle ground there where you hear that and I feel like people are thinking like a 9-win team. I still think 11 or 12 wins is possible for this team.
Yeah.
But that's regression. They won 14 last year.
Yeah.
So by the letter of the law, that is regression. But they need to prove it again. All right, a couple more from the rest of the AFC. The Broncos. I think this is too low. 9.5.
With that defense, it's because of the division, I would assume.
That's fair. But I feel like
that's regression.
people...
That would be 14 wins to 9.
Yeah, people think that I am a Broncos hater because of how much I make
You're a
fun of my
Broncos
high.
hater.
I love it. I love hating on the Broncos.
You're a Broncos
I
hater.
love hating on their quarterback. I love hating on their stupid stadium and the Bronco outside of it at the airport. I so badly when we were leaving.
Well, you know
Denver-
about that airport, right?
Yeah, I so badly wanted to put a Drake May jersey on the Bronco while we were leaving to come
That
back
would've been
here.
good.
But no one wanted me to do it.
You know
I was
what? You
told
know
I
you
couldn't.
know what we could do now.
I wanted to stop the bus and put a Drake May
If
jersey on
if
that
the
thing.
Patriots, because the Broncos come here, but if the Patriots end up back there in the playoffs,
Yeah.
just put a traffic cone on the Bronco.
There you go.
Shout out to the Scots.
Shout out. Sorry about your ending to the World Cup. Feel
That
bad
was
about
unfortunate. That second
That
Brazil
stung.
scored that third goal, I was like,
We're
that's
gonna
going to be too
we're
much.
gonna get together soon though. I think Mr. Kraft's working on that. He's
I've seen that.
He's pressing some
So
buttons.
I did have, because I tweeted out, there's 4 stadiums in Scotland.
Is one of them it's Glasgow, right?
It's 3 in Glasgow, 1
Did I say I
in
probably butchered that. That's probably not how
Edinburgh,
you
I
say it.
think. It's spelled
Okay.
Edinburgh, but I think it's pronounced Edinburgh. So there's 4 stadiums that can seat 50,000+. The 5th biggest is 20,000. So there's 4 stadiums realistically where you could do this. I tweeted out, and I had some Scottish followers kind of let me know which stadiums, hey, this probably would work, this probably wouldn't work. The NFL looked at Murrayfield Stadium, which is the big one, in 2008. They obviously didn't end up going. Based on the replies on Twitter, which weigh them however you want, it seemed like Hampden Park in Glasgow is the way to go. That's the home of their
do it.
national soccer team. That's like their Wembley.
I'm in.
So
Let's go.
I hope I would go. I would actually, I would go. I would figure out a way to go. That'd be a lot of fun.
Back to the Broncos.
Yeah.
The Broncos, I feel like their offseason has kind of flown a little bit under the radar. They were really quiet at first, and then they make the big splash by trading for Jalen Waddle. That's a big trade.
Yeah.
Adding Jalen Waddle to that offense is a legit move. 9.5 feels a little bit low, and I think you're right. They are accounting for the division, which we'll get to here in a few minutes, because I think the Chiefs line is entirely too high. Way
Yeah.
too much respect for Kansas City right now in Vegas. So are we both over the Broncos 9.5?
I'm over, but just because it's a low line.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they're a double-digit win team.
They should win double digits.
I don't
With
know if
that
they're going to win
defense,
14 games again, but they should win 10 or
unless
12.
there's more to that Bo Nix ankle injury than's out there right now, and Vegas knows something we don't. That would be the one thing, and like the relationship between Bo Nix and Sean Payton seemed a little testy at times since the end of the season. That would be the one thing to me, maybe, because when you see a number like that, you're like, what does Vegas know that we don't? That would be the one thing I go to, that like if Bo Nix can't move anymore, there goes his game. He can't be a pocket passer. He's not a good enough thrower.
That's definitely big part of his
So
game is
that would
extending
be-
plays. Not so much running, but extending plays.
Moving, mobility.
Yeah.
That would be the one thing to me that I'm like, if you tell me Bo Nix is now a statue, yeah, now you're probably looking at an 8 or 9 win team.
Sure. All right.
But there's nothing out there right now that says that's the case.
moving to the AFC North.
Yeah.
This
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You
want us to keep with the West?
I thought we were going by division. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably make more sense, huh? This line to me, way too much respect for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, 10.5 wins. 10.5.
Yeah, in that division, I'm going to go under. I think the Chiefs would be okay, but since the last time we saw Mahomes at full strength, and even last year, he didn't look right the whole year.
Right.
Like, the Broncos are much better than they were 2 years ago. The Chargers are much better than they were 2 years ago. We'll see what the Raiders are.
The
with
Raiders
Mendoza.
are going to be better. There's no way
They should be better,
worse.
right? So, I actually think the Chiefs will be okay. I think they're going to be, in the mix. That's too high, though.
I think 10.5 is blasphemy. I really do. What roster are you looking at that has them at 10.5 wins?
Travis Kelce's going to get married and suddenly play like he's 25
Who's he throwing
again.
the ball to? Tyquan Thornton and Travis Kelce and
Keyshawn Booty?
Xavier Worthy?
I do like Xavier Worthy. But
maybe they sign, swoop in and sign Diggs at some point. Maybe they trade for Keyshawn Booty, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. Their offseason acquisition was Kenneth Walker. Good running back, but you know how I feel about running backs moving the needle for a team. They trade Trent McDuffie on defense. They get worse on defense. They actually, I think they jettisoned both their starting corners on defense. Did they not? I just don't get that line at all. They won 6 games last year. Everybody kind of is under the assumption that it was because Mahomes got hurt. Mahomes didn't get hurt till late in the season. They were already going downhill well before Mahomes got hurt. I think 10.5 is crazy. I think that's a 7 or 8 win team, even with healthy Mahomes.
I'm going to go under.
And you also don't know when Mahomes is going to be Mahomes. He might play week 1, but remember Brady in 2009 it took him a little bit. He was not the same guy right out of the chute with the ACL. I think 10.5 is way too much respect for Kansas City. The Chargers, 9.5. I like the over here. And I'm not a big Chargers guy, as you know, but I like the over.
They always show up in the regular season. They'll win 10 games. They'll get the top wild card spot, and they'll get their doors blown off in the first round of the playoffs, as is tradition.
They are a classic. That's exactly what they are. I think they actually have a pretty good chance to win that division.
Yeah.
But they might win that division and then lose in the in the wild card round to a worse team. That's just very Chargers. But I think that's a pretty good team, especially with getting their tackles back. I think they're like an 11 or 12 win team on paper in the regular season. I have no expectations whatsoever for them in the playoffs. I think they'll go someplace cold and they'll fold like they always do.
Yeah.
All right, going back to the AFC North. I thought this line was really, really high too. Ravens 11.5, the highest one out of all these teams. Right now, the Ravens are the favorites to win the AFC.
I love that roster. I really love that roster. I think the new coach will help. Steelers might be bad. Browns will be bad. Hell, the Bengals might be bad. I'm going to go over.
You're going to go over.
I'm going to go over. I think for the regular season, I think they're set up tremendously well. We'll do this dance again when we get to January with the Ravens. Is Lamar healthy? Is Derrick Henry healthy? Are they kind of backing in? But I think that they're set up incredibly well for the regular season.
They have a good roster. Defensively, I don't know if Matabike is playing. Remember, he had the neck injury last year. If he's healthy and he's back, that's big for them. I do like Jesse Minter. I think that was a good hire. The one thing that does worry me a little bit, though, about them, and Lamar has a really good track record when they change offensive coordinators. His first year with the offensive coordinator, he's won MVP both times. Greg Roman and why am I blanking on the coach of the Browns? But
it's irrelevant.
Todd Monken. I don't know why it took me that long. Declan Doyle's their offensive coordinator now under Jesse Minter. Declan Doyle's never been an offensive coordinator. He's never called plays, to my knowledge, in the NFL. Yes, he's inheriting a 2-time MVP, so that helps.
Well, there can be pressure that comes with that, too.
But I don't know if I'm totally sold on the offense just yet. I have to see it to believe it with that one. But Baltimore 11.5. I think that's a little high, but I think they're probably an 11 or 12 win team. That's why this is set here. I'm going to go under. I think they're an 11 win team. I think there's some adjustment there.
That's about right. It's
rookie
11.
Head coach, rookie offensive coordinator.
They could go 6-0 in the division.
So, speaking of
I know it's tough to do in that division, but then they got to get 5 other wins. Let me see who else is on their schedule real quick here. So, who are their non-conference games? Colts week 1 should be a win. Saints, Cowboys, Titans. They have an easy schedule. Holy crap. Falcons, Browns, Bengals.
Well, they lost.
Bills, Jags.
They didn't make the playoffs last year.
What?
The Baltimore.
That's right. No, but this is easy. It gets a little tougher in the second half. Bills, Jags, Chargers, Panthers, Texans, Bucks, Steelers, Browns.
So they drew the NFC South, which is why they have an easier
They
schedule.
drew the NFC South and I think the AFC South.
So
They drew what the Patriots drew last year.
Yeah. Whoever draws the NFC South gets a break on their schedule. That's the new rule. So Ravens 11.5. This one I thought was really high too, just because you know how I feel about Zach Taylor.
Yeah.
I really am flabbergasted that the Bengals have held on to Zach Taylor as long as they have. This is really, really counting on Joe Burrow also being completely healthy for the entire season. Cincinnati 10.5 right now.
If Burrow's healthy, they can do it.
If everything breaks their way and Burrow's healthy and the receivers are healthy and all, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'll give the Bengals this and our friend Trags. They've really improved their roster defensively. The Dexter Lawrence trade was a really good trade. I don't think that they're a top 10 defense. I don't think they're an elite defense. I think they can be serviceable on defense, which is such a big improvement to what they were last year and have been for the last couple with Joe Burrow. If they're like the 16th best defense in the NFL instead of the 30th best defense in the NFL, that's a huge improvement if Burrow is healthy and everyone's healthy.
Yeah, 11 wins is a lot, though.
11 wins is a lot. I think it's under.
I think they're
it's too
probably
high.
a 10-win team. I'll go under, but just under. I texted Trags. We'll see what Trags has to say.
Too much counting on what ifs. Is Burrow healthy the whole year? Is Chase healthy? Is Higgins healthy? Is Zach Taylor a good coach? We don't know. Too many unknowns. All right, AFC South, sorry. Had the NFC South on my mind. AFC South. Do you put the Colts in this category? Of contending for that division?
I think the Colts sneaky could end up contending for the first overall pick.
So you don't put the Colts.
Oh no, that would be the Jets.
So you don't put the Colts in this.
They gave up all that capital and then paid Daniel Jones.
Yes.
And Sauce Gardner. Daniel Jones coming off a torn Achilles. Who knows where he's going to be at? Who knows where Sauce Gardner is going to be at? I like their wide receiver. I shouldn't say first overall pick. That's probably a little extreme. I mean, they have some other good pieces on offense. They have Alec Pierce. They have Tyler Warren. They have Jonathan Taylor. But I don't know if Daniel Jones isn't right. I mean, look, he had a good setup in New York, and he still dragged them down. He had Saquon and dragged him down. Yeah, I just don't think so. I think they're squarely the third best team in that division.
I didn't even write them down when I pulled all these because I just don't.
Oh, are we only going to do division leaders?
You want me to do the whole AFC?
I thought that's what we were doing.
No, I'm just looking at the teams that have,
We can skip the Colts then. I'm actually curious what their win total is now.
So right now the Texans are favored to win the division.
Colts are 7.5. I'd probably go over, but that's about right. I think they're a 500 team.
They're projected to come in third then.
That's about right.
The Texans are right now currently the favorites to win the AFC South at 9.5.
I'll go over. I think CJ Stroud clutches up in what's essentially a contract year.
I think it's a 12-win team.
Yeah.
I think that's the best defense in football, or second best if you want to give that to Seattle. Obviously, it's a great defense, too.
I mean, as we were talking about...
I think that's a perfect regular season team. We have to score 17 points a game in the regular season.
As we were talking about with Burrow, if you just get CJ Stroud to be level, what is that team?
I think it's a good team.
Yeah, I'll go over on that.
They've made some changes on their offensive line, although they're still hitched to the Trent Brown wagon, which I can't understand.
Because when he's on, man.
And look, I have nothing but love for 2018 Trent Brown, right? Got the Patriots starting left tackle play to win a Super Bowl in Brady's
dominant
last ride. Good player. Dante Scarnecchia.
Even 2021 Trent Brown.
He might have taken a few years off of Dante Scarnecchia's life barking at him for 18 straight weeks in 2018, but it worked. Trent Brown, I've never seen anything like what Trent Brown did in that playoff game last year. I was up in the press box where I normally am pregame, watching Trent Brown go through a pregame workout, and he was questionable coming into the game with an ankle injury for a playoff game, a divisional round playoff game. He's questionable going into the game. He works it out, tests it out, moving around like Trent Brown. He's not he's 390 pounds. He doesn't move well, he's a clips. That's what he is. Next thing I know, he's tapped out. He said, I'm not playing today. The Texans had to completely reconfigure their entire offensive line 90 minutes before kickoff of the divisional round. And we all know how it went for CJ Stroud in that game. He's under pressure the entire game. It was an absolute disaster. He threw, 4 picks in the first half? 5 total, something like that. I can't believe that that Trent Brown's their only option. That Trent Brown is their projected starting right tackle. That being said, they've made some other moves. Hopefully,
Dude can play when he's on, though.
Nico Collins wasn't healthy for that playoff game. Nico Collins, a really good receiver, arguably a top 10 receiver in football when he's healthy. Do they get anything from Tank Dell? I think that's a big question. But a sneaky big addition for them, Alex, and I just said I'm not normally a running back guy, but David Montgomery in that backfield, maybe they can have some semblance of a running game to take some pressure off of Stroud. I think that's a really good regular season team. They don't they scored 20 points, 17 points a game. They're winning 10 games.
I mean, the defense is just
dominant.
Unbelievable.
And that works. That travels for 17 weeks. Last one here, Jaguars. A very Patriot-like season for the Jaguars last year. Their seasons really mirrored each other in a lot of ways. First year head coach with Liam Cohn, 8.5 for the Jaguars. So I think a lot of this is that the Jaguars seesaw.
Yeah, I was tempted
team
to say under just because the Jaguars generally don't have 2 good years in a row, but under 8.5 is low.
Yeah, I think they're a 9. I think they're a 9.
I still might go under. It's just how the Jags operate.
I think the Jags have a good team. I think they're pretty well equipped defensively. I really liked what a lot of the scheme type of things that they were doing.
Do you trust them to figure out Brian Thomas though? I feel like he's really the key to unlocking that thing.
I don't know. Do they need to figure him out completely, or can he just be sort of he's their ex and the ball comes away?
But I'm talking about if they're going to take this isn't so much the win total. This is just like them taking the next step.
Sure.
Because that's what he was last year.
Because it's Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington,
right.
Brian Thomas Jr. Clearly, Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington are going to get the targets. They're going to get the volume. If Brian Thomas Jr. is a really good deep threat for them, it's better than the alternative of not having Brian Thomas Jr.
Right.
Travis Hunter sounds like he's going to play defense most of the time, which I think makes sense.
Which is the right call.
Yeah. So I have Jaguars over. I think both those teams, the Texans and the Jaguars, will be playoff teams. Again.
I'm going to go under for the Jags just out of habit.
That's fair.
Sorry, Kendra.
That's fair. I think the most ridiculous line out of all of these, and then we'll get your thoughts on it, is Chiefs 10.5. I'm sorry. That just sticks out to me.
There's just such an unknown.
But predicting that they're going to win double-digit games with that roster after the way that team looked last year, I just feel like there's all this revisionist history of what happened in Kansas City last year. When you talk about the Chiefs last year, it's, Mahomes got hurt. Mahomes got hurt in December. That team was already going nowhere before he got hurt. But I digress. All right, let's...
by the way, Trags has the over on the Bengals.
Over 10.5.
Yeah.
Trags, big believer.
Trags is usually not overly optimistic.
A much better defensive roster for the Bengals. I'll give them that. They improved the defense quite a bit. All right, let's take these calls and emails are coming in. Let's get to the phones. Patty is in Agawam. What's up, Patty?
What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Hey.
Good.
Hey. So I just wanted to say that I appreciate you guys. I love everything that you do. I'm so glad that Barth and Lazar are on Patriots.com. I know I say it at least once a year, so I had to get that in. I'll be going to a few training camp practices. I hope to see you guys again. And I don't really have a question. I just wanted to show my appreciation. And for Marine Corps Matt, let's go, baby. 250. Let's do it.
Thanks for the call,
Good
Brad,
call.
and appreciate all that. And we'll definitely see you at training camp. Alex is a pretty big July 4th guy too. You're a big 4th of July guy.
I enjoy.
But nobody likes the July 4th better than our own.
Well,
Marine
and
Matt.
he's now picked up a very good summer hobby too. He started golfing.
I guess it makes sense when you serve our country like he did to be a big July 4th guy. But you got there.
What is that? I can't tell he's holding. Oh, is that a picture? Is that Marines?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, he's America 250 over there. I'm surprised he's not wearing a T-shirt or something like that today. But we usually spend the 4th of July together, Alex. I think we're going to do that again this year, too.
Yeah.
All right.
Have you seen Team America World Police?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
of course. I mean, you can't be our age and have not
That's
seen Team
true.
America World Police. Probably one of the first like really inappropriate movies I ever watched.
What was the first R-rated movie you ever watched?
Euro Trip.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, like, well, it depends. Like R-rated movies, like a gangster mob movie, or like inappropriate.
That was your first response. I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, so I think it was probably Euro Trip. And funny story, I had a TV in my room growing up, and it had.
Oh no! If you saw it on cable, it doesn't count.
Why doesn't that not count?
Because that's not really an R-rated movie. I mean, like an R.
I'm not done telling the story.
Okay.
So, jeez.
Let him finish.
Yeah, right. I had a TV in my bedroom growing up because I was spoiled, and it had HBO on it. And as a teenager does, Euro Trip was on, and so I put Euro Trip on, and I fell asleep with Euro Trip on my TV. And the next morning, my dad came into my room, closed my door, and was like, "Look, I don't care what you watch, but your mother walked in last night, and there was naked women on your TV, and we can't let your mother see that."
So it was on cable, but it wasn't censored?
No, it was on HBO.
Oh, it was on HBO.
Yeah,
okay, that counts.
And he was just like, your mother can't see that.
But you fell asleep, so you didn't really watch it.
That's what I said. I said I fell asleep. It wasn't like I was trying to, do anything scandalous. It just is what it is.
We watched, this is my friend's like 12th or 13th birthday, something like that. He had a sleepover, and we watched Rat Race.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
Which has since been downgraded to a PG-13 rating, which kind of hurts the story. But at the time, it was rated R.
Yeah, that feels... I mean, there's a couple of scenes I can think of that are definitely R.
Yeah.
Like when they're on the highway. And
the language probably not quite as bad. There's some, but I just love Rat Race. It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. Euro Trip, Rat Race.
Awesome cast, too.
The first R movie that I saw in theaters, like when I was legally allowed to go, was The Hangover Part 1.
Ooh, first R-rated movie in theaters. I was never a big going to the movies guy. It might have been... What came out first, Project X or Superbad?
Superbad.
Yeah, those were right around the same time, weren't they?
So it was probably... I didn't go to the movies to see those kind of movies. Like, if I went to the movies, I'd go see, like, Batman.
Right, you're going to see the blockbusters.
I wasn't a big in-the-theater guy. Like, Superbad was something where, like, I'd go to the store and rent it because we're old now. Superbad was 2007. It was probably Superbad.
Superbad's great.
Superbad. I was on the other night. I watched, like, second half of it.
McLovin,
holds up.
Big time Celtics fan.
Holds up, because not all those movies hold up. Superbad holds up. Still funny.
It's great. It's a great movie. I would say all those movies, Superbad, Project X, Rat Race. Rat Race was a little bit.
Rat Race is different. Well, so here's
Euro Trip. Like those were all like the first of those types of
Euro
movies.
Trip, Van Wilder. What was the one? Accepted
with
Jonah Hill and Justin Long.
Yeah, Justin Long.
I had this debate with somebody. Is Superbad our generation's American Pie? I argue it's the same generation.
So,
and I would take American Pie over Superbad, but it's
American
close.
Pie was the 90s. And
it's 98. 98, 99?
I was not old enough to watch American Pie when it came out.
That's
I watched
fair.
it later. Whereas I watched Superbad
when it came out. That's fair.
So I think I think they are different.
Okay.
Yeah, they certainly are different.
I just don't want to feel old.
I don't know. That's a really hard one to pick between.
It is a tough one. Superbad or
classics.
American Pie. I like American Pie better, but Superbad's up there.
Superbad's I probably like.
The cool thing about American Pie is the sequels aren't bad.
Yeah,
the direct sequels, like not like Naked Mile and Green Book or whatever.
I just feel like Superbad was. It hit home for me. Superbad. I was that because I was those kids in high school.
Green Book's a different movie. I'm thinking of something else.
I was those kids in high school. I was Jonah Hill and McLovin, where I was just cool enough.
You were McLovin.
I was just cool enough to like talk to the popular kids, but I wasn't a popular kid. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't so much of a loser that they like really didn't want anything to do with me, but I also wasn't super popular either. I was right in the middle.
Loved Project X. I was like. That was kind of the same thing because it's like the dorky kid is like, what if I was the man?
Yeah.
Never threw that kind of party though.
I did. I almost did, and I got saved. That's a story from another time.
That's probably that kid. It's based on like some kid in Australia, right? Who did?
Is that true?
Well, there was a whole run after of people trying to throw those parties.
Yes, that I
It became
remember.
like a cultural phenomenon. Underrated. And the I think it was first appearance of Miles Teller.
Oh, also, if we're gonna go down this road, we have to mention Borat too. Borat was
Well, that's a different.
Borat
This is
was
more
right
like the
in that category as well.
yes and no. That's a different kind of movie.
It is, but it's
not
right in that wheelhouse.
So this is all like, what is it? Coming of age, right?
yes,
Yeah, Borat's not a coming of age movie. I love
No.
Borat.
but it's his
Different movie. Borat would be more
fantastic.
like. Do you remember like Epic Movie?
No,
Oh, Epic Movie was good. It was one of those like
I didn't see
parody movies. I loved
like
Epic Movie.
Spaceballs,
Spaceballs is a great.
classic. All right, let's get back to the phones here. Nate's in Connecticut. What's up, Nate? Nate.
Hey, what's up?
Nate. All right, call us back, Nate. We'll get you on. Sean is in Vancouver. What's up, Sean?
I can't believe we couldn't hear Nate. Happy Canada Day.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You know what-
yes. Happy Canada Day to you too.
Thanks. It's kind of funny because the U.S. is playing Bosnia on Canada Day. Canada is playing Morocco on Independence Day. So it's kind of a strange coincidence.
Oh, yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know the World Cup, I think, can really help when you have host nations in it. Like back in 2002, Japan and Korea were the hosts. And they did well. They went to the round of 16. I think South Korea won their match in the round of 16, moved to the quarterfinals, and they were ranked 40th, while Japan was 26th. And maybe we could have. It's going to take a while. Like that was 24 years ago, but now Japan is ranked 18. South Korea is 25. So they moved up quite a bit. And right now Mexico's 14, United States 17, Canada's 30, and they're all probably, as long as there's not a huge upset, going to move to the round 16. Maybe this will be a huge bump for association football or soccer for our teams as well in North America. So we'll see about that. I do have a question as well, Patriots related. It's not that huge, but there is a rookie free agent, undrafted free agent, Travis Shaw, who I'm wondering if he could make the team maybe play a little bit of nose tackle in short yardage situations. And onto the movie thing, you guys mentioned this, so I thought of that. My first R-rated movie was in Stowe, Vermont. I was on a ski trip with my dad and my brother, and my brother joked that, hey, why don't we see Looking for Mr. Goodbar? And my dad doesn't do his research, doesn't know about movies. He's like, yeah, sure. He thought it was about a chocolate bar. So we went to see Looking for Mr. Goodbar with Diane Keaton, which was very disturbing. It's about an nymphomaniac who was murdered at the end. And 2 years later, again, my father knows nothing about movies. We see Caligula because my father thought it'd be historical, learning about Roman history. And it was the unrated, uncensored version in Quebec. And it was very disturbing. There was one part where a man is castrated and Caligula feeds that to his dog. So, yeah, I don't recommend that movie for anyone under 18. All right, I'll leave you on that.
Thanks for the call, Sean. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of rated R movies like that until
Yeah,
I got
not
older.
my kind of.
No.
I'm also just more like comedy movie or action.
Yeah,
movie.
maybe like Silence of the Lambs at some point, but
I
never
never saw that. Like gangster,
you
like
gotta see
gangster
Silence.
movie. I get Goodfellas isn't really like an action movie, or The
No,
Departed isn't really an
it's
action
a
movie, but like
mob
that kind of
movie.
mob. Yes,
Yeah.
like mob movie, action movie, comedy. I don't do. It's weird. I really don't like horror movies, except for whatever reason, the original Halloween.
Okay.
There's something about Michael Myers that just
Halloween scares me. I'm not gonna lie.
Michael Myers is-
I'm a wimp. I totally.
Yeah,
admit
that's
it.
one of the best of the
I've
old
said
slasher
this for a
movies.
long time. Everybody compares Tom Brady to Darth Vader. Like that's their movie character comp for Tom Brady.
because Bill's the
I
Emperor.
know, but the real,
Duh.
if we're going to do the movie, the movie character that I think best represents Tom Brady is Michael Myers, because every single time they think they've killed Michael Myers, he comes back and he's meaner and better than ever. Like there was a trailer for one of the new ones where they
block him in the basement and
lock him in the basement and light the house on fire.
Yeah.
And then they turn around and they run out. And as they look back in the rearview mirror, there's Michael Myers with a chainsaw standing on the front porch. That's Tom Brady.
I'm
very passionate about this take.
I can hear that. That was when that movie series jumped the shark with me, is when they locked him in the basement and then like literally lit the house on fire, and I think they lit a bomb too, and it exploded, and he's just fine.
That's Tom Brady, man.
Doesn't matter.
I was like,
That's Tom Brady. You can get up 28-30 in the Super Bowl in the second half. You haven't killed him yet.
You have anything to say about Travis Shaw?
I like Travis Shaw. No,
the mayor
good call.
Of what? The mayor of
Ding Dong City. Was the old Red Sox. That was a Jared Krause nickname for the old Red Sox first baseman. But the Patriots have a different Travis Shaw. Legit nose tackle size.
Yes.
I know he's 340. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3", something like 6'5", sorry. 6'5", 334. Guy was he was a 5-star recruit coming out of college or coming out of high school and just never really got it to click. I think he dealt with some injuries. He was at North Carolina for a few years and he was at Texas last year, played a little more at Texas. There's a lot of untapped potential. They need a true nose tackle. They've obviously done a tremendous job in player development at this position. Look at how far Leonard Taylor came, how far Corey Durden came, how far some of these guys came when they got here. So, they have a lot of smaller, more athletic kind of pass rushing defensive tackles. They don't have that real space eater nose guard run stopper. I think Shaw could be that guy. I didn't have him on my last roster projection, admittedly, but I want to see him pop in camp because I think it would be fun to see him make a roster push. And if they can get him where he needs to be, I do think he'd be a good addition to the roster.
Yeah, he does seem like the one guy that might have the body type to be like a true space-eating nose tackle. I don't know if Corey Durden or Josh Farmer or Leonard Taylor, they're not built like those wide body type of guys. Travis Shaw is. I think that they really developed that position well. I wonder how much, and I know he wasn't as intimately involved as they would like him to be last year for his obvious reasons, but Terrell Williams has this very, very good reputation for developing defensive linemen and being a really good defensive line coach. So I think that might have something to do with the fact that they did find some diamonds in the rough last year at that position. So I wouldn't be surprised if a guy like a Travis Shaw or someone like that was able to pop on that defensive line. But that's how they feel. I said this the other day because we had a call about their interior defensive line depth. I feel like they're bullish on that group. And I think
they should be.
Yeah, obviously a lot of it's Milton Williams and Christian Barmore, but they're very high on Corey Durden. Yeah. And I think they're just very high in general on their pipeline and their ability to develop those types of players.
That's what might be tough for Shaw. Like we talked about this with some of the UDFA receivers. Like they're not bad players. It's just they might be too buried. There might not be a pipeline or roster spot, but I like Shaw's tools. I'd like to see him hang around on the practice squad at least. You want a little Boston sports breaking news?
Sure.
The Bruins have acquired forward Kale Vazanen in a 2028 fourth-round pick from the New York Rangers in exchange for goaltender Jonas Korpisalo.
Oh, they got rid of Korpisalo's contract?
Yeah, and they didn't have to keep any money.
They didn't have to attach any draft picks to it either?
They got a draft pick.
They got rid of Jonas Korpisalo, and they didn't have to salary dump him, is what you're telling me.
I'm not seeing anybody report salary retention.
Wow.
So
that's impressive.
I don't know. Maybe that comes out later, but
so DiPietro, their AHL goalie.
Matt Dolph says they dumped the entire contract.
Wow. So their AHL goalie DiPietro won like the Vezina.
AHL goalie of the year.
Yeah.
They just drafted 2 goalies.
Yeah. So they have a really good goalie in Providence.
And they like we just talked about the Patriots defensive tackle. Their goalie development system, as much as they've struggled developing.
Goalie Bob is like Dante Scarnecchia of the Bruins.
Kinda, yeah. No, they just churn out goalie talent left and right. It's incredible.
Coach. So yeah, that's a good trade for them if they didn't have to attach any picks to Jonas Korpisalo. So yeah, the Bruins JJ Peterka as well earlier this week, not bad.
They're doing okay. Yeah,
all right.
They still need a center.
Speed and skill is what they needed, and that's what he brings to the table. We'll see if they kind of overpaid for him a little bit, 2 first-round picks. But
they didn't. If you listen to like DJ,
the protection on the Florida pick makes it better.
The protection on the Florida pick and the first-round pick this year. Like I love listening to people who know about the other drafts talk about the other drafts to see how I sound.
Yeah.
Nerd. DJ Bean and Pete Blackburn, Ron Felger, and Maz talking about it. I guess this year's NHL draft was like nobody wanted anything to do with it. The pick that the Bruins traded, the Jazz then ended up trading for like a backup goalie.
The Mammoth, you mean?
The Mammoth, yeah.
Utah.
I don't know why I did that, but that pick really wasn't worth anything. This was a bad draft.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about their pick this year. The Florida pick being
the Florida one being protected definitely helps because if that ends up being the 30-somethingth pick,
whatever.
Guy scores 25 goals a year.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take.
The Bruins might lose Victor Arvidsson.
Yes, I did see that. But they made the Paterka move, so I think
that's true.
That was their move. All right,
fun.
We're gonna take a quick break, and then we'll be back and talk about some nonsense.
Come welcome our newest restaurant additions at Patriot Place. Estella brings a celebration of flavors with a modern fusion menu, exciting cocktails, and brunch available daily beginning at 11 a.m. Enjoy freshly brewed coffee and Mediterranean-inspired breakfast and lunch from Angel's Cafe. Craving the classics? Chick-fil-A makes it easy to grab your favorite with mobile through, carry-out, and dine-in options. Download the Patriot Place Advantage app for special offers and to earn rewards every time you visit. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
There's enough needless nonsense in the world already. Your phone plan shouldn't add to it. Verizon's new Simplicity plan cuts down on the nonsense in your life. Now there's just one plan, one price. $30 a line per month, even for a single line. And everyone gets our best 5G network. It's a phone plan designed to do exactly what a phone plan is supposed to do. Isn't that a lot simpler? Switch today at Verizon.com or at your nearest store. For new customers, $30 per line includes auto pay and switch discount. Additional taxes, fees, and terms apply. Unlimited data is restricted to on-device smartphone usage. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds.
If you're gonna play the game, boy, you gotta learn to play it right.
DraftKings is all about responsible gaming. It's more fun when it's for fun. So play responsibly. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction.
Catch-22.
All right, what are you doing over there? Explain it to everybody. I know you're plugging something.
Appreciate my friends over at EA Sports. They gave me some copies of the new college football video game to give away. It drops tomorrow. So I had people reply with a Patriots player, past or present, from their favorite college team. And I'm going to pick my favorites for the winners. And I'm getting some deep cuts.
Favorite Patriot, past or present, based off their college.
Name a Patriot, past or present, who played for your favorite college team.
Oh, I see.
So
I don't have a favorite college team, so
right. So you can't do it. I'm getting some deep cuts.
Okay.
I got a Malcolm Mitchell one.
Nice.
I know that's not as deep. We'll get deeper here as we go.
Southern Alabama or something like that.
Georgia. Malcolm Mitchell?
Oh, Malcolm. I thought you said Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, Malcolm Butler, I think, was Northern Alabama, something like that.
Okay, Malcolm Mitchell, Georgia, yeah.
I got Trey Nixon, Tully Bantakane. I'm sorry, I can't pick all these. Danny Woodhead. Can you give me Danny Woodhead's college right now, Evan? D2 Shadron State.
Yeah, I knew it was
won
D2.
the Harlan Hill Trophy. Come on.
I knew it was D2.
Somebody shouting out Pop Douglas. And you know where Pop Douglas went?
Liberty.
Yep. Current Patriot Mike Brown from Miami of Ohio.
Okay.
What Super Bowl winning quarterback attended Miami, Ohio?
Ben Roethlisberger.
Good job.
Come on, that one.
What's the trivia question? It's like there's like 5 colleges that have had a president and a Super Bowl winning quarterback or something like that.
Thomas Jefferson.
I got Dan Copen. A lot of good BC ones. Dan Copen, Mike Cloud. Patriots legend Mike Cloud.
You love Mike Cloud.
I do love how you sloshed through the slop.
You love Mike Cloud.
Brandon Spikes. There was an Ed Lee one in here somewhere.
I did love Brandon Spikes.
Brandon Spikes was awesome.
That old school. Like, you want an old school
linebacker. He's a linebacker. Marty Moore's another one. URI's Ed Lee. Got a Dalton Keen answer.
Virginia Tech, right?
Virginia Tech, that's right. Got a couple Mac Jones. Jeremy Gallen.
I don't even know where he went.
Michigan.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Calvin Anderson. Where did Calvin Anderson go to college? I don't even know that off the top of my head.
I do, and I can't think of it right now.
I want to say Colorado, no, Texas.
I knew it was one of the big schools.
You know Ben Coates? Can you give Ben Coates college?
No.
Livingstone, yeah.
Never would have gotten that.
I think he's in. Let me double check this. Oh, never mind. I thought he was in the College Football Hall of Fame. What other good ones did I get here? Got a Chase Winovich. Remember Ricky Jean Francois?
Yeah.
Didn't he own like a bunch of Dunkin' Donuts?
Sounds right.
Wasn't that the whole thing when he was here? Bunch of Oregon fans apparently in my mentions. Got a Brock Lampy shout out. Another Dan Copen. And that's all the fun ones.
Yeah, I don't have
bunch of Drake Mays.
I don't have a favorite college football team.
Isn't it USC?
I guess if I had to pick.
All right, so who's your favorite ever Patriot from USC?
Favorite ever Patriot from USC? Oh, Willie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Willie McGinnis, for sure. But
I'm trying to think.
They don't have a ton of Trojans, honestly.
No, they don't. I'm going to pull this up and do the read, and I'll pull it up and
Juju,
find the list.
I guess, played here for a minute.
Give me Willie.
So I saw Juju play live in college, though, at USC. That was a really good
Yeah,
USC
he was fun
team.
in college.
Yeah, it was a really good team. So I shouted out DraftKings earlier because that's where I pulled our over-unders from, so I'll give them a read here. Whether you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. I always think it's ironic that I read that and they do not let me gamble on the games. But you know what?
So
it is what it is.
That's kind of surprising. According to Pro Football Reference, only 19 USC players have played for the Patriots.
It's not a big one. Obviously,
I guess opposite
Willie.
coast, so early on, not a lot.
Willie's the biggest one.
So there's
Juju
one who
comes to
played
mind.
more. Willie played the second most games of a UFC alum in New England.
Who was first?
Moisey Tutupu.
Yeah.
So Tutupu, McGinnis, Larry McGrew, who was another linebacker. I actually don't know who that is. Sam Bam Cunningham is a good one.
Yep.
Pat Harlow had a stint here. Junior Seau.
Yeah.
Nelson Aguilar.
Oh, yeah.
Matt Castle's not a bad pull.
Yeah, all of those are good ones. I forgot about Junior Seau.
Yeah, Junior Seau, and then that's kind of it. List drops off after that.
Junior Seau would have been in the running if they. I mean, Willie's an all-time great Patriot. It's a little different. But.
Yeah, Junior Seau's up there, and I mean we're too young for Tutupu or Sam Cunningham or Larry.
From
McGrew.
what I hear, I'm not in these meetings in these committees yet, but the Patriots Hall of Fame committee, Moisey Tutupu always gets brought up as like one of the first real ambassadors of the brand. You know, one of the first stars that kind of grew the Patriots and made them a relevant name in the area and that sort of thing. He was a big part of the brand expanding. And
yeah,
growing.
I mean 1978. So he got here in 1978. Was on some good teams. And
right.
Would make sense.
All right.
His son played for the Seahawks.
Some emails we got from Don in Philly. He was going off the quarterback tiers.
Okay.
In a hypothetical, if Drake May goes 1-1 in the 2024 draft, are we taking Jaden Daniels or Caleb Williams?
I'm probably taking Caleb Williams. My concern at the time with Daniels was the injuries. Those have kind of borne out. Like he has struggled to stay healthy a little bit.
That's fair.
I think Daniels has probably shown you more. It's kind of like what we just talked about with Stroud.
Yeah.
I think Daniel's probably shown you a little more of a ceiling, but I think some of those injury concerns have come to be shown as legit. So I'll go Caleb Williams. But I don't think you'd be wrong for taking Jaden Daniels.
So it's two very different types of quarterbacks. I
Right.
feel like Caleb Williams is a highlight reel quarterback. Jaden Daniels is much more consistent, I would say, than as a passer. You know, he's a true accurate pocket passer type of quarterback, whereas Caleb has got these incredible big time throws and wow plays, but maybe doesn't have that kind of consistency. I'll just stay consistent. I had Caleb as the number one quarterback in that draft.
Yeah.
I'll stay consistent with that and say Caleb. But if I knew what I knew now,
I do
lean
knowing
Jaden
what you know
Daniels.
now. Knowing what I know now, I think I'd still take Caleb Williams.
He's been healthier. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I just think that
And he's, 3 years younger?
couple years younger at least.
Yeah, so he's still got some more room. Because that was the other thing with Jane Daniels. He was going to come
Yes.
in and have a high floor, but he was what he was.
There's what, a 24 or 25-year-old rookie, something like that.
Yeah.
Jane Daniels, yeah. That's
So
more
I
than
think,
fair.
Jane Daniels is 25 now. So he was 23 when he got drafted. And Caleb Williams is 24. He's only a year, how's he only a year younger? He only did 3 years of college. He must have done a prep year.
All right. Another question here on Christian Gonzalez.
Okay.
It's a little bit of an interesting one. The question basically is, would you guys prefer that the Gonza negotiations drag into training camp or just give him a sweetener for 2026 and kick the can down the road? Like, let's say Gonzalez reports on July 24th, they still don't have a new contract. You just give him a raise for 2026 and try to get him out there, or do you?
That would worry me about the long term. If that's what they do, then I'm worried. So they couldn't get a long term deal together. Is there a chance they lose him? Like, that would worry me.
I don't know if Gonzo signs that or agrees to that.
I also don't know if Gonzalez would do it.
I don't think he does.
So
because he has no long-term security.
Now, look, I'd rather have Gonzalez than not. And if it's that or him holding out into like August, then I think you got to get him on the field.
Yeah.
But if it's a week of camp, not ideal. The long-term security should be the focus. I think the short-term thing is not worth, because he can't not play, because then he doesn't get the year of service time.
Yeah, I don't think that strategy tends to happen with more veteran players that are more towards the end of their careers instead of the beginning, where it makes sense for the team to not commit long-term to that player, but the player is worth more than what he's being paid, and so you just give him a little bit more to market correct his contract, and everybody's happy. I don't know of a lot of guys looking for their rookie extensions or their second contracts in the NFL that would take just a sweetener for one season.
Yeah.
That doesn't really seem like that makes much sense from the Gonzalez side to do that. He still doesn't have any long-term security.
Right.
So,
it defeats purpose.
Yeah. This is a question from Dave in Maine. He said, a little off topic, but Demetrius Crownover, Patriots rookie Demetrius Crownover, played tight end in high school, and he's wondering if maybe the Patriots, to replace Julian Hill, could play some 6 offensive line packages. I have no doubt that they might. I don't know if it'll be Crownover that gets that.
I think it'll be Lomu.
It might be Lomu. But either way, I do think that league-wide that's becoming more and more popular to go to 6 offensive linemen. I'll give... these things ebbs and flow, so it's a little bit of everybody. But Detroit, I would say, would probably be the number one team that did this the most with Dan Skipper and Ben Johnson playing 6 offensive linemen. Definitely has made a comeback. The Patriots were really, really efficient with 6 offensive linemen on the field last year with Thayer Munford as a 6th offensive lineman. So to the emailer's point, it doesn't necessarily need to be the most talented 6th guy. Like Thayer Munford was a practice squad guy, bounced around, wasn't exactly... Orlando Pace out there or anything like that. But I think that that's going to be a big part of it, of their offense, especially, I agree with the emailer's premise, especially now that they don't have Julian Hill.
Yeah. They're going to do a lot of it. That's going to be kind of an interesting battle in camp. Is not really a battle, just kind of us observing, but Lomu versus Crownover for that 3rd tight end role.
Want to talk a little Celtics?
Let's do it.
So the Celtics today signed Mitchell Robinson from the New York Knicks. I love that they poached him from the Knicks. That's always a good thing to poach him from a rival. But what do you think of the move? I think that they were going to use the mid-level, I think, at some point this offseason. The question that I have, and I think the question that everybody should have, is there a move coming vis-a-vis trading Jaylen Brown to now get under the luxury tax again? Now, Jaylen
they're
Brown...
only $3 million over, right?
Right, so they could... trade a Sam Hauser or something like that and get under it without losing a big piece like Jaylen Brown. But it does feel like they want to be under the tax. This puts them temporarily over the tax. So one would think that there's a move coming to get back under the tax. But just in terms of the player himself in a vacuum, really a nice upgrade over their center depth last year.
Yeah, Brad Stevens said it, so this isn't you yelling at me for liking old school basketball. They needed more of a presence at the rim.
Yeah.
Mitchell Robinson absolutely
rim protection,
presence at
rebounding,
the rim.
lob threat, all of that.
So they've needed an old school center for a long time. I think Cade is okay, but I mean, we saw what happened in the playoffs. They needed an upgrade there, and we saw what Mitchell Robinson did in the playoffs against Joel Embiid and against Wemby and some of these other guys. So if they're keeping Jaylen Brown, I like it. I think he's a really good piece to add to that group. I'd still like to see him add another guard. I don't know how much Mike Conley's giving you at 39 years old. And maybe they trade Hauser for a cheaper guard. Maybe that's what it ends up being. They have a trade exception I think they can use.
They do.
Maybe they don't want to burn the whole thing. Yeah. It's bigger than that. But.
So if they use the trade exemption, they'd be hard capped over the first apron.
Well, you can use... I hate the NBA cap. It's very confusing. And baseball's going to use the same one, and I'm already annoyed. But if they keep Jaylen Brown, I like the move. If they move on from Jaylen Brown, I don't really care what they do. I'm going to be annoyed.
So I agree with you. This move to me feels like a move because Mitchell Robinson is not a game-changing signing where like that's like a second star next to Jason Tatum. Like Mitchell Robinson's a really nice complementary piece, and I do really like the fact that him and Nimi Keita are pretty similar players, so they kind of that overlap is going to allow them to kind of replace each other and kind of split the minutes up at that center position. I don't know if Mitchell Robinson is a guy that you want to play 35 minutes a game because he can't shoot. So the Hackimich thing comes into the equation.
Maybe they can teach him how to shoot free throws.
He doesn't stretch the floor at all. He doesn't really have an offensive game beyond catching lobs and put back dunks, right? So I don't know if he's truly that guy. I think that he's best cast behind a center like Karl Anthony Towns, like he was on the Knicks, where he's the second center. But if you put him and Nimi Keita together and kind of get one 48-minute center out of those two guys, I think that's good, and you don't really have to change your playing style too much because they're pretty redundant, so you don't have to change the way that you play when one's on the court and one's off the court. Mitchell Robinson's a really, really good defender, like an elite NBA defender, and he can really guard all 5 positions. There's a couple possessions where you see him do that in the NBA Finals where he guards all 5 guys on the court. Like he's a really elite defensive player, but he doesn't move the needle much offensively. So if you're trading Jaylen, then you still are replacing a lot of the offense. Like you need to find that 30 points a game someplace else.
Right.
That's not coming from Mitchell Robinson. So interesting time for the Celtics. I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. I would not trade Jaylen Brown. I would not trade Jaylen Brown.
Nope.
I would not trade Jaylen Brown. I'm very, very interested to see where this goes, Alex, in terms of Bill Chisholm, the new ownership group, and how their approach to the salary structure in the NBA with the aprons and the luxury tax. It makes some semblance of a sense. I can understand it to be out of the tax to get rid of the repeater tax penalties by being out of the tax 2 years in a row. So the rubber really won't meet the road until next offseason. Like if they don't spend over the tax again next offseason after resetting it, then we can start to really be skeptical.
Yeah.
But I think that this new world that we live in the NBA with the aprons and with the taxes and all that kind of stuff, really, it brings into question if the Celtics have 2 guys making $60 million a year in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, if you don't want to be a first apron or second apron team consistently, do you have the salary cap space to build out a roster that can win a title around basically, let's call it $120 to $130 million tied up in 2 players? I think the basketball people are telling you don't. I don't know. I'm a little skeptical of that. I'm a little skeptical of the whole thing. Like the basketball penalties, I've read all of don't mansplain it to me. I read it all. I understand. The penalties or the aprons. To me, it still comes back to the number one thing, though. The penalty of being over the tax and in the aprons is money. That's the penalty. Like, you want to tell me that they freeze your draft picks 7 years into the future and that you can't add to the roster other than, like, minimum guys and draft picks. Well, guess what? If you have the roster that's over the apron, you should have a championship caliber roster. So why do you need to add players to it? Like, you shouldn't need to add players to a team that's built like the 2024 Boston Celtics. You should be a championship team. So I'm very cautious about all that. I want to know more about why exactly they want to trade Jaylen Brown. Is that this relationship has run its course, or is that an aprons thing? Is that a tax thing? Is that a money thing?
It's kind of crazy how we've gone from Jaylen Brown is going to want out from the Celtics to the Celtics want to be done with Jaylen Brown. We might have had the whole thing backwards from the beginning. It wasn't Jaylen Brown that was done with the relationship. It was the Celtics, which would be wild. That's what some of the reporting was last night.
It's interesting, too, I would say, from this type of stuff, I know it's not an NBA show, but this type of stuff is what fascinates us on the football side of things, and this is that type of show.
If you think we only nerd out about like roster building and all of that with football, we maybe go a little bit deeper with football, but fascinated by all of it. I got FIFA yesterday. It was on sale. I saw that. And I was like, I'll try FIFA for a little bit before the college game comes out. I don't understand how the roster building works in soccer. That's a whole other thing.
So soccer's different.
I couldn't trade for draft picks.
Soccer's different because it's an open market.
It's right.
So there's a transfer window and there's transfer fees. There is trades every once in a while, but it's not set up at all the same because the leagues are in different countries.
Right.
So it doesn't really work the same way.
And it's different leagues.
Yes.
Right. And they're equal. It's not like the NFL and the UFL.
Right. So back to the Celtics though quickly. The point I was making in terms of the roster building thing of it, I do find the impact of the aprons to be fascinating because it feels to me like this lack of Jaylen Brown market is stemming from you have to be a lot more intelligent about where you're putting 35% of your cap, right? You can't like handing out these supermax contracts like they were doing before all this really kind of started and started to have an impact. It was a lot easier for teams to digest those contracts salary cap wise and tax wise than it is now. So I think some of the reason why Jaylen Brown doesn't have as big of a market as people thought he might have is because it's a lot harder to fit $60 million into your salary cap than it was 5 years ago. So in some ways, I think that the NBA is going to see a course correction where if you're not like a bona fide top 5 player in the NBA, you might not be worth the supermax anymore.
Right.
You might not be worth the full 35%.
I've always hated the concept of the max contract to begin with because I think it bails out stupid teams. Right. It forces you, it prevents you from overpaying to a certain extent to land a player.
Yeah.
Like, I remember this with Gordon Hayward. I never thought Gordon Hayward was worth, like, the maximum amount you could pay an NBA player. But he was just good enough that a team was going to pay him all the way up to that. So, I'd love to see him get rid of the max contract. But that's another conversation.
I just think it's fascinating how if we're going to live in a world where basically you can't be over the luxury tax for multiple years and there's just no owners, all 30 teams are in agreement that we're just not going to do that. And that means that the contracts at some point have to be adjusted and teams have to be smarter about where they're spending their money. So players that are fringe, second All-NBA in his best year players, last year Jaylen Brown was 6th in MVP voting, but he's not Jokic or SGA or Wemby or even Tatum in the hierarchy of the NBA. You can't pay those guys that anymore. That might not be the going rate. But as of right now, all those contracts have been grandfathered in to this new system.
Right.
So that was, I think, where the NBA maybe did a little bit of a misstep with the new salary cap system is that they just did it overnight. There was no easing into the apron era. Like all of a sudden these restrictions just hit and everybody that had signed a contract before the aprons were a thing still existed. And so the Celtics were still on the hook for $60 million for Jaylen Brown, but that was being given to him in a different era of the NBA, and it doesn't matter. It's a complicated system, though, and I've spent way too much of my free time trying to figure it out.
It's a complete and total mess. The NFL system's complicated. I don't love the NFL system. I like the NHL's. You get paid $6 million a year. That means you get paid $6 million a year, and you count $6 million against the cap.
Right.
Period. I think there's some very small.
So I would say the NHL,
things, but
in American sports, I don't know enough about European sports to answer this, but in American sports, the NHL is the only hard capped league.
The only real well, the NFL kind of not really.
The NFL does not have a hard cap. The NFL you can pay to spend over the cap.
There's a hard cap on salary.
I guess there's technically a hard cap, but it's not.
There's a hard cap that can be circumvented.
Yeah.
Like when I think of a soft cap, I think of the NBA where you can pay over. You can literally have a salary that exceeds the salary.
Like 25 of the 30 teams are over.
I don't think in the NFL you can't have salary that exceeds the salary cap.
No.
You can't. Now there's ways around that.
Cash
with bonuses
cap,
and you get into the non-guaranteed contracts and all that. Right. I will say there is one rule. I think it was Matt McCarthy I was talking about this the other day. I guess some soccer leagues have this because they do have sort of a cap thing, but you get one uncapped player. That's a thing in soccer. Like you get one player that doesn't impact the salary cap.
So in the MLS, you get a DP, a designated player that can be. I don't know exactly what the rules are. This is just the MLS. I don't know about.
No, I
other
think
leagues.
this is in Europe.
So I don't know about that in Europe, but the MLS has this because they set it up this way.
Maybe it is just the MLS.
Because the one player
Because of Beckham
might make more than the entire rest of the roster.
Right.
But they wanted to give players the opportunity to sign a David Beckham, to sign a Robin Lewandowski, who I think signed with Chicago recently, to sign who's the player that I'm blanking on right now that is
Messi?
Neymar.
Oh.
Neymar is in talks now of maybe coming to the MLS.
Huh.
Messi's in the MLS. But the MLS salary cap is set way lower than like what Lionel Messi's salary is with Miami, I believe. So that's the DP thing. I think the Revs are interested in adding one of those players this offseason.
Oh no, here. This is the Premier League. This was added like 10 years ago, similar to the designated player rule in the MLS. The player so designated, which the Premiership calls an excluded player, has to meet one of the following 3 criteria: played at least 2 full seasons with the club before his designation, played outside the Premiership before his designation, or included in some other thing.
Yeah, I don't know enough about how it works in the European soccer leagues. I just know that in the MLS.
Oh, this is their rugby league. This is the rugby.
Yeah, I don't think that exists in European soccer, but I could send an email or a caller who follows it closer than
Anyway, that would be an interesting thing, especially for the NBA to do, because it would allow you to keep these superstars in place, right? If the Celtics could just say, hey, Jason Tatum doesn't count against salary cap.
Or at least maybe you get like a partial break.
Right.
He's got to count something.
It puts the onus on the owner.
So this, I think, to relate it to football, because I'm sure some people are rolling their eyes that we're talking about basketball so much. There have been conversations in the league about doing this with quarterbacks.
Right, the quarterback cap.
And having the quarterback only count 65, 75, 85% of their salary count against the cap, because the quarterbacks are going to be making $70 million a year.
Or I've seen one where the quarterback salary, there's a separate quarterback salary cap, which is basically you have to decide if you're going to have a quarterback make like the maximum.
Okay.
And there is no max, but you basically have to have any other quarterbacks on a rookie deal. You couldn't. So, for instance, the Patriots could not keep Drake May and Tommy DeVito to the extension they just signed him to.
So I think that's too complicated to me. I would just make it. I actually can see the premise of this because the quarterbacks deserve to make what the market value is of them.
Yeah.
But it's obviously, if you're going to be paying a quarterback $70 million a year, that's just such a large percentage of the cap. And it's not even just that it's a large percentage of the cap. It's so much larger than any other position. It's just like so out of whack. I like the idea of maybe only partially counting the quarterback.
That could make sense too.
Cap number. So let's say your quarterback only counts 80% against the salary cap versus everybody else counts 100. So you get a little bit of a tax break essentially for paying a franchise quarterback $70 million a year. I think that
would make some sense.
It just seems like that's simpler than a different cap and having different rules completely for the quarterback. This is just very simple.
Sense.
All right, let's get back to
who's going to hate that? The edge rushers.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is that those other positions, but a good edge rusher.
It opens up more money for the rest of them.
A good edge rusher like Myles Garrett is the top of the market at 40, right? Somewhere around there. That's almost half of what the Drake May is going to make in 2 years, So it is different. Eldred is in North Carolina. What's up, Eldred?
Hey, fellas, how y'all doing today?
Hey, good.
Hey, I got a question for you. I know I'm a Celtics fan too. Evan, don't trade Jalen. I mean, we'll lose on that end. I don't care what they say. We'll lose. About Gonzo. Okay. Gonzo contract. And according to Nick Cattles, if the Patriots go this route where they extend him, give him a little bump for this year, and then put him on the franchise or whatever, and then they talk about in 2 years because May contract going to come up, you got to pay him $70, then they trade Gonzo. That'd be the dumbest mistake I ever heard anybody make that comment. So what do you think? And I'll take it off the air. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. So basically they're saying
take Gonzo year to year till you have to pay May, then trade Gonzo. Yeah, that's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea, but I can't sit here and totally rule it out. Not because I have any inside information. It's just this is what happens.
I can rule it out because I think if you get to the point where you're tagging Gonzo, he's not going to play.
Well, I also think, so if you're tagging Gonzo, then you're trading him on the tag.
Yeah.
Which means you're not going to get the value. Like, you don't get the same value as trading him if he's under contract.
And that would be, you'd have, 3 more years of him because he's going into his fourth year?
You'd have, 3 more years. Yeah, this year, the 5th year.
No, you'd only have 2 more years of him.
Well,
you'd
if
have
you're
to
trading
trade him on.
yeah.
There's no way he'd play on the tag. There's no way he'd play on the tag.
I mean,
and I get
what's he
it.
going to do? Sit out the whole year?
Maybe.
It's still $30 million that he's passing
Is
out.
it worth...
Or something like that.
Is it worth that for him? Would it be worth that for the Patriots to keep him around when he's holding out, collect the fines, and then lose him for nothing? Or would at that point you'd have to trade him? No, they should be trying to get. You don't dink around with a player like this.
I'm not as concerned about it, but just looking at we were talking about them earlier. Like, look at Kansas City. Kansas City has made all sorts of moves since they paid Patrick Mahomes to not pay the second guy. They've traded Tyreek Hill. They've now traded Trent McDuffie. They kind of just aren't paying. Chris Jones got paid, I guess, but that's interior defensive lineman money. Travis Kelce was probably getting paid at some point at the top of the tight end market, but that's tight end, which is one of the least valuable positions in the league in terms of, top end salary. So paying a number 1 corner and a franchise quarterback is going to be a lot of money. But my guess is that they are going to make that work elsewhere. Like, we're talking a lot about these 2 guys getting paid together. Christian Gonzalez is going into his 4th year. If they give him an extension this offseason, then that extension kicks in 2027. Drake May will then be signed in 2027 and not kick in until 28. So I say this all the time, you have 2 full years until you're paying both May and Gonzalez at the same time. You have this season coming up in 2026, and you have the 2027 season. So it's not till 2028 that they're both going to be making top of the market money. So you still have 2 more seasons to worry about this. So that's like where I come from with it, is like, this is not, everybody makes this out to be like this is an immediate problem facing them right now. They have to plan for it, don't get me wrong, and Elliott Wolf, I'm sure, is thinking about things 2 to 3 years down the line just like this. But they don't have to pay both those guys top of the market until 2028. Right. So we're still have a couple of this year window here. Let's remember, the reason why I bring that window up, let's remember in 2028, is Christian Barmore still going to be under that big contract?
Probably not.
Milton Williams still going to be under that big contract? Is A.J. Brown still going to be under that big contract?
Isn't that the year that A.J. Brown's due like $50 million in dead? They're going to have to rework his deal.
Right.
Yeah.
But so all of these guys that they're paying now at the top of the market, Milton Williams, A.J. Brown,
Carlton Davis is going to come off the books.
Like
who else comes
by
off the
2028, all those guys are coming off the books.
Right. They're paying Hunter Henry will be off the books at $11 million. Onwenu will be off the books at $17.5 million.
Right.
Bayard at $9 million, and that's 2 years before. That's in 27. Pending free agents after 27. Morgan Moses at $10 million. Spillane at $13. Landry at $18.5. Carlton Davis at $22. So now here's the thing. You're not necessarily going to replace $22 million Carlton Davis with a $22 million cornerback.
Right.
Right.
So this is my point.
Where they have to start hitting on draft picks.
So Milton Williams, that'll be the final year of his contract at 31 will be the 2028 season. Christian Barmore's final year will be 24.6 in 2028.
Yeah.
Both those guys will be going into the final year of their contracts.
Right. I don't know how much guaranteed money's left at that point.
Right. And you talk about Mike Onwenu, Hunter Henry, some of these other guys that you're bringing up, Alex. Those are guys that you need to draft and replace.
Right. That's where you're looking at Eli Raritan.
Right.
When it comes to Carlton Davis, that's
probably drafting a corner.
Probably drafting somebody, drafting a guard next year with Morgan Moses. You're talking about Caleb Lomu.
So
I named a couple linebackers in there. They got that started this year with Obi Izor.
So to me, that's where the money comes from.
Yeah.
The money is not, in my opinion, doesn't need to come from Drake May or Christian Gonzalez. Yeah. It's going to come from these veteran players that are going to age out of the Patriots roster by that point.
You had basically 2 years with this core.
Yeah.
You had last year and this year, and then starting in 2028, there'll be some more roster overhaul. Because they're maximizing this for May's rookie contract.
That's where we're at right now.
But that's only a short window.
Yeah, so they're going to need to, just like a lot of teams that run into this issue eventually, they're going to need to draft and replace these guys. Robert Spillane, Hunter Henry, Carlton Davis, Harold Landry. Those players are going to have to be replaced with cheaper, younger players.
Right.
Because you're not going to be able to spend money on all of it.
Ellie Wolf, you're up.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Dave is in Connecticut. What's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up, guys? Long-time listener since, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I've been following you guys since way before Catch-22.
Awesome.
Love you guys for a very long time. Just wanted to say that real quick.
Thank you.
I apologize if I ask anything that you guys have talked about because I'm not really listening now. I listen to you later on usually.
Okay.
So I have two things for you. One is a question that I've been waiting for the off season to ask because a couple of friends of mine and myself have talked about it, and it has to do with quarterback arm strength. So, for example, not to pick on Mac Jones, he has, quote-unquote, a weak arm, but if he was to stand next to Drake May, he doesn't look any smaller than him. Or even take someone like Jaden Daniels. He's thin as a rail, but has plenty of arm strength. So is that really about how strong they are? Is that more a mechanics thing? Is that maybe he's more accurate throwing it slower or something like that? And the second thing I have for you is I've been thinking about the Super Bowl and how they're saying that that loss was probably the best thing for Drake May. And I remember thinking throughout last season, I wish he had a little bit more of that maniacal, Brady-esque, I want to kill you type of mentality. So what do you think about that first game against Seattle? If they were to win that game, would that be better for them from a confidence perspective? Or would it be better for them if they're going to lose any games, for them to lose that game and make them more wanting of, firing them up more, so to speak? And I'll leave you with that, guys, to discuss. Thanks for everything you guys do. Love you.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it. As I lose the mouse here.
I'll answer the second part first. It's always better to win the game. If they need if they need that motivation to compete for a Super Bowl, they were never getting far anyway. It's always better to win the game. They should be plenty motivated enough.
So I would like to think that it was the best thing that happened for Drake May, but if we're just being honest,
winning the game probably would have been better.
The history of quarterbacks losing a Super Bowl and coming back and winning the Super Bowl is not very good.
Yeah. Now, most of them don't get there as young as he did.
So, recent example does help. Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Lost his first time, won the second time. Besides Jalen Hurts, do you know who the last quarterback to do that was?
Elway, right?
Elway in the made it in the 80s and then made it in 90s. So there was he made it in the mid 80s, right? Like I want to say like 84, 85.
Something like that. Yeah.
And then didn't win again until like 96, 97, right? So there's a huge gap between those two Super Bowls. But Elway, Hurts, and I think there's two others that have done it. 4 quarterbacks, I think, in the history of the NFL have lost the Super Bowl and then come back and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Not a very good track record.
No, it's not. But again,
so I think winning the Super Bowl would have been
better. Yeah.
Always better to win the game. The first question is a good Catch-22 question. I think that there's always a percentage of things like that is physically God-given.
Yeah.
Arm strength is definitely one of those things. That being said, there are margins that you can play with mechanically.
Yeah, mechanically, like how much torque can you create? I think actually both can probably be answered the same way in terms of the physical side of it and the mechanic side of it. You look at them standing next to each other, and I think a lot of people look from the waist up.
Yeah.
It's just like a pitcher. It's lower body.
Yes.
Right? You're planting and pushing off your legs. Like every time I talk to people and like the first time they saw Tom Brady in person, it's like, I didn't realize how big he is. I didn't realize how big his legs are, right?
Yeah.
So it's that
big, tall dude.
It's that lower drive and then tall and arm length and right. It's physics. It's how much torque can you generate? It's like the trebuchet effect, right? You have longer arms, you're going to be able to throw the ball harder because you're creating more. And we could get into physics terms I don't understand, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
so there's a mechanical chain, and I think that when you talk to quarterbacks, coaches, especially guys that train quarterbacks, not necessarily NFL quarterback coaches, but guys that actually do this, like your Tom Houses and things like that. They talk a lot about the mechanical chain. It starts with your feet.
Yeah.
So there's really like 4 points, I would say, of action. There's your feet, There's your hips, which is
Right.
why you see Dak Prescott doing
The hips are really important. So that's
the snap in the hips thing that he does pregame.
that was the thing with Joe Milton. As much as I talk about lower body, and I probably should have finished that thought, like part of what made Joe Milton so crazy is he would make these 70-yard throws off platform, so he wouldn't have his legs. If you go back, you watch Joe Milton really let the ball go, watch his hips. He flips his body so fast, so violently that it creates all that torque and it helps make up for what he's losing by not having his base.
Yeah, they talk a lot about like turning around the axis of your body, right? And really torquing your core and your hips and then your shoulders. So if you watch Tom Brady throw, who has the most picture-perfect mechanics,
It's beautiful.
one of the big things that Tom Brady is very big on, I know, is having everything kind of uncoil when it should.
Yeah.
So your feet come, then your hips come, then your shoulder comes, then your arm comes. When you start breaking that chain and things start to go fire before they're supposed to fire, like if you're firing your shoulders before your hips or your arm goes first, that's when you're starting to break that mechanical chain. So I was always of the, and maybe a little bit too much, but I was always of the school that Mac Jones could go to like Tom House school for an off season. And no, he was not going to go from having Rex Ryan's pea shooter to having the best arm in the league, but he could marginally improve his arm strength enough to be an NFL starter.
Mac Jones was not always tied together.
Right. But he faded away a lot.
Yeah.
Which was, I think, the biggest thing is that he was taking fadeaway jumpers
And then he
too
didn't
often.
have the rest of the natural strength to make up for that like a guy like Drake May or Joe Milton has.
Yeah, so Drake May, I think, has really good mechanics for the most part. I think his release could be a little bit tighter. I know Greg Bedard's big on that.
Yeah, but I don't think that has to do with arm strength. That's more of an accuracy
That's more
thing.
of an accuracy thing.
Yeah.
The longer you elongate your motion, the more error you're creating in your accuracy.
Right.
Because it's a longer windup. So the shorter and more compact the motion is, the more accurate the quarterback is. I would say that's what makes Jaden Daniels so good and so accurate, is that he has a very, very good release.
Yeah.
Compact, to the point, no nonsense release, and that allows him to replicate his accuracy over and over again. Whereas Drake May, who has very good accuracy as well, has had to work with his arm motion and how like long his arm motion is. So that's like quarterback mechanics. I don't know if Brady's probably the best sort of example of rapidly improving your arm strength from a young player to the player that he became. But I also think that it was a combination of Brady having his physical tools undersold a little bit coming out of college. But I would also say, his body, he transformed his body.
Well, that's where the pliability comes in.
Yeah.
Because the flex, it's not just strength, it's flexibility.
Yeah, he literally
If you watch
snaps himself.
Right.
Yeah.
Watch his
It's
arm
cool.
go. It's elastic.
Yeah.
When he throws the ball, especially later in his career, his arm looks like a rubber band.
Yeah. I mean, if you have to teach quarterback mechanics, nothing against Drake May. Drake May just has so much physical ability that he's kind of like Mahomes. He doesn't necessarily have to have picture-perfect mechanics. The guy that has picture-perfect mechanics all the time is Tom Brady. And it's all that mechanical
It's like,
change
you
stuff.
know that the jump shooting robot
Yeah.
that goes around on Twitter, that's Tom Brady throwing a football.
He also does that thing with the arm. So he believes in keeping the front
elbow
arm
tucked.
Yeah, so
C palm to the
he used
ear.
to have a towel that he would put under the front arm, and he'd tuck the elbow, and if the towel would fall, that means the elbow was coming away from the arm.
Right.
So he'd have to keep the arm tucked. Not every quarterback does the arm tuck, but Brady did.
There's a
and if he did it, then I think you should probably look
well,
into
no,
it.
there's
You're not.
I've seen golfers do a similar thing because you're supposed to kind of keep your elbows together.
Yeah.
So they get a ball and they put a ball between their arms when they swing, and especially in the backswing, if your elbow comes flying out, right? If the ball drops, then you didn't keep your arms tight enough in your swing.
Yeah, it's a
That was
cool
nifty. If Marine Matt's still back there, that tip helped me.
it's a cool conversation about mechanics, I think, because a quarterback like Drake probably doesn't need to be a master of this craft. It probably would help, like it would with anybody. A quarterback like Mac Jones, that was where his margins were.
Right.
He was going to have to perfect these types of things. He was going to have to win with his mind. He was going to have to win with perfect mechanics, all those types of things. And that's hard. That's hard to do. That takes a lot of practice and a lot of repetition and a lot of drive and a lot of, just time in the gym, just figuring it out, working on it. So it's tough. Brian is in New York. What's up, Brian? Oh, Brian in New York now has sent an email in, so he must have had to drop off the call. So here's his question. Quick question regarding Pop Douglas. I feel last year all we heard from people was Pop was open on this play or that play, and Drake just did not throw him the ball. Do you believe that it could due to height and Drake not seeing him? If so, how do they fix that problem? So I do think that that's part of it, and I think that their moves this offseason, A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs, Eli Raridan in the draft at tight end, who's 6'6" with a huge wingspan, does kind of spell or suggest that Drake May would like to throw to bigger receivers, have a little bit more margin for error, probably a little bit more comfort. He talked about it that he always threw to his brothers who are all giants. Right. That might have something to do with it. So I do think that that's an element of it. I also think there's an element, some of those times that Pop was open deep in the Super Bowl, could he have gotten him the ball? Could he not have gotten the ball? There's other factors, their context, pass rushers, things that are happening outside of the play that aren't just, we're watching the all 22 from the bird's eye view and he's open, right? So there's always that kind of stuff. But I am a subscriber, Alex, I don't know if you are, to the Drake May big receiver thing. I think that's I believe in it.
It's a real thing, but the chemistry with him and Pop Douglas did look improved this spring, so maybe that was one of his focuses this offseason, was moving on from that, getting over that.
It is interesting because I feel like every time we bring this up, the instantaneous pushback is that he played with Josh Downs in college.
Right.
At North Carolina. Now, taking it out that it was the ACC and it was a college game, I would also just add with Josh Downs was their best receiver. He kind of didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
He kind of had to make it work. I think if you get to this level and you can pick between, do you want an A.J. Brown, 6'1", 225 with great hands, great body control versus 5'8" Pop Douglas, you have that option at this level.
Right.
North Carolina didn't have the option to say that Josh Downs was too small for a quarterback. He was by far and away Drake May's best receiver. So you kind of had to make it work. Wrapping up the show here in a few minutes, I got to ask Sir Alex if he's got any thoughts on the game tonight.
They should win this one. I know the path gets a lot harder after this, but they should win this one. And I just hope that, look, I get it, all right? I get it. The game against Turkey didn't really mean anything. It didn't count. They were playing backups. There's still a momentum thing. It's like, and I know it counted, but remember like when the Patriots lost to Miami at the end of the year in 19, and we were like, it doesn't really mean anything, right? They didn't really need that game anyway. But they just, it was a tough way to lose a game, and you hope that doesn't hang on them. So, again, I think they should beat Bosnia. Sounds like Pulisic is also finally healthy, which is obviously huge. I think I saw the report yesterday he's going to play wire to wire.
Hopefully. He hasn't played wire to wire in a game in a long time. But maybe they don't need him to. If they put up 2 or 3 goals, maybe they won't need him to finish the game.
Get this one, and then we will see.
So, a couple things. I would say that it's a fair comparison. 2019 was a little bit different because they were playing for the number 1 seed.
They had to play an extra game because of it, yeah.
Yeah, so that was a little bit different. This is like you're locked into your seed.
Yeah.
And it's week 18 in the NFL, and the Patriots decided not to play Drake May in week 18. That's what the equivalent of what the U.S. did against Turkey.
It's still it's a little more than that because they were playing some of their guys.
So they did like a rotation, and mostly it was to just like not have any rust.
Right.
Going into the knockouts. So it's a little bit different because there's less games. Obviously, like you're only talking about a 3-game group stage versus a 17-game NFL season. It's that element of it's different, but. I would say the one thing about this game that worries me just a teeny tiny bit, Bosnia is going to park the bus. Like they're going to play. They want to win this game in PKs.
Right.
Like they want to win exactly how Paraguay just beat Germany.
I'll tell you this. I'd better not see one player from the U.S. say no when asked to take a penalty kick.
Well, that's how Bosnia is going to try to win this game that way. Like that's how they play normally. I didn't watch their game. I think it was against Italy in the qualifier, but apparently they did exactly what Paraguay did to Germany
built the wall
to advance to the World Cup, to get out of the qualifiers. So they're going to try everything in their power to make this either a 1-0 game or 0-0, 1-1 going into PKs. Like that's where Bosnia wants this game. If the U.S. can score early, I think that they're in really good shape. That's not Bosnia can't chase the game. They can't be down.
Right.
So all you got to do is score a first half goal and put them down 1-0.
That easy, right?
and it's over.
Let's go Belogan.
Now, here's a little bit of a take for you, though.
Okay.
Because I've already given you this take off the air. It doesn't mean anything to me until they win a round of 16 game. Doesn't. I'm not going to be impressed.
Oh, it should be Boz. I think
I'm not going to be impressed.
It comes down to who they're playing.
They got to get out of the round of 16. I was alive in 2002, but I was not a big time soccer fan, nor was I that old. Okay, I was 10 in 2002. I have never, as a U.S. soccer fan, I have never really seen them win a knockout game before. So,
Belgium and Senegal are both good, though.
I don't know if this counts, though. This doesn't. This feels a little. I've used Harry Kane.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
Noted Patriots fan, Harry Kane.
Harry Kane scored twice in the second half. Scored both goals for England, and they're going to survive. So that's a bummer. I used this comparison with you yesterday. Winning the round of 32 is a little bit like winning the wild card round in the MLB. Right?
Yeah.
Like you made it means you made the playoffs. You know,
Okay.
it doesn't mean you won a playoff series.
Well, what if they were playing like a more legit team in this round?
Well, if they like got a bad draw, then sure.
Yeah.
But I need to see them get to the quarterfinals.
All right.
That's anything beyond getting to the quarterfinals is gravy. That's icing on the cake. But this team should be good enough. They're on home soil. They should be good enough to make the quarterfinals. So I'm holding them to that. If they don't make the quarterfinals, I'm going to be disappointed.
Meanwhile, Gillette for the last game here is going to get a great draw. It's probably going to be France against either Canada or Morocco.
So
That's pretty good.
They have the quarterfinal game.
Right.
They don't have a round of 16.
That's what I'm saying. So the last game here is going to be quarterfinal.
Quarterfinal.
And there's the two teams playing to get in that are Paraguay and France. France will probably win that. And that's a great draw because you get Mbappe here.
And France is going to win the World Cup.
And then
I said that to you yesterday.
You either get Morocco, who's also pretty good, and Morocco-France would be a good match, or you get Canada, and you get like Canada's going to travel very well for that coming down here. So that in Canada and France, that's got to be a rivalry, right?
Canada, France, no.
I would think so. Well, just because
because they speak French.
Yeah,
in
they
Canada.
speak French.
I guess so, but Canada's not really a relevant soccer nation.
But still, we're not a relevant soccer nation.
We're more
We have
relevant
rivals.
than Canada.
I guess.
Mexico looked pretty good last night. That was annoying.
Yeah, you were not impressed with Mexico, and then they did that.
They looked really good.
Mexico-England, actually, will be the next. That'll be fun.
This is exactly what this happened. Brazil did the same thing the other day to Japan, where first half Japan scored a goal. It looked like Brazil was on upset alert, and then they just dominated the second half.
Give me more of those penalty kicks, man.
If the U.S. goes to penalty kicks tonight, I might not be able to watch. That's like through the fingers.
Well, that's what what's his name? Thierry Henry was saying, like when he had to take a penalty kick in the World Cup, his dad left.
Yeah,
his dad didn't want to watch it.
So one of my friends growing up, he was our goalie.
Yeah.
And in hockey, I didn't play hockey, but he was our hockey goalie, and his dad couldn't watch. He would pace around the rink, and he couldn't sit and watch it because he was gonna throw up. Want to hear a very optimistic Patriots email?
Sure.
So, first he says, "Oh man, Norway moves on to the round of 16." I'm not a big second team guy, you know that. Like I have one team, I don't really root for a second team. If I had to pick one though, I might go Norway.
I love the Roo chant,
and
that
Holland's
thing's
just dynamite.
I'm rooting for Norway.
He's tremendous.
And Victor Hovland won the other day.
He's just so good. That guy is so good at. I mean, Mbappe's obviously amazing too, but Holland is just so much fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are some really lofty stat predictions here from our friend Dustin. Drake May, 5,000 yards.
Okay.
No quarterback threw for 5,000 last year. I keep bringing that up.
It's been a couple years, right?
Yeah, people keep bringing up 5,000 yards, and I'm like, that doesn't happen.
Not in the era of quarters.
45 touchdowns and 8 picks. That's like a Tom Brady
That's
MVP.
like a peak Tom Brady season. Yeah.
That would be a lot. Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah.
1,200 rushing yards and 12 touchdowns.
And what does he have for Henderson?
He doesn't.
Okay,
just
but that's
Ramondre.
still. So that's
1,200 yards from scrimmage, maybe.
That's a 6,200 yard season.
Oh, in terms of what Drake and Ramondre have, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
The NFL record by the Saints is just over 7,000.
We're
which
talking
they did in 2011.
We're talking rarefied air if their offense is putting up these kind of numbers. Wait till I get to the AJ Brown prediction.
Okay, keep going.
A.J. Brown.
Well, I would assume all of A.J. Brown's passing yards are coming from Drake May.
1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns. I don't think that one is as crazy as the other
1,300 is
ones.
probably a little high, but I don't think that's unrealistic.
He has them going 15-2 with their losses to Kansas City and Green Bay and winning the Super Bowl. So if you want,
sign me up.
If you want some Patriots.com optimism, there it is for you. All right, we're going to let Mark wrap up the show for us with our last call here. Mark's in Connecticut. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Evan, long time. How you been, bud?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. I wanted to call in so bad yesterday when you were on with Paul.
Yes.
And, I wanted to get your guys' take. How is the national media not thinking that the Patriots have a top 5 receiver group in the row? I mean, this is just nuts. I mean, you got A.J. Brown, you got Romeo Doubs, you got Mac Hollins, you got Kayshon Boutte. I mean, we have the deepest and, I believe, one of the best wide receiver crew. I cannot wait for training camp to see what Josh McDaniels schemes up. I mean, you can't take anybody away because then we have a great fullback. We got good running backs. We still got, Hunter Henry. This is just going to be nuts. I'm so excited for this.
I love it, Mark. I love the excitement. I'm excited for it, too, and I think a lot of what Mark said there about the answers, Alex, they do have a lot of answers.
Yeah.
They can play big. They can run the football. They can go under center and run the football. They can put the fullback in the backfield. They can put multiple tight ends on the field. They can go, they can spread you out. They can go 3 receivers, spread you the field, spread you out, put Drake May in the shotgun. They can do a lot of different things. I think the question, the point of how is this not one of the best? I think it's one of the deepest. And Bill Barnwell said as much, so it's not just a homer take. He said that it's one of the deepest rooms in the league. Do they have the top end talent that some of the other teams do? Cincinnati, that has Higgins and Jamar Chase. Dallas with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Do they have... I don't know if A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs are quite that type of 1-2 punch.
Right.
It's good. It's
not at that level.
It's not Chase and Higgins... Adams and Puka.
Where would you put it with Jefferson and
Jordan Addison?
Yeah.
I think Jefferson's the best player.
Jefferson probably just on his own raises the ceiling of that too much.
But those are the best, right? The Rams, teams like the Bengals, those are the teams that Dallas, that's the best. I don't know if they're quite there, but they're good.
Yeah.
And they're deep. And it'll certainly be exciting to see how Josh McDaniels mixes and matches all these different personnel groupings and styles of play. I think that's the most thing I'm most excited about is that they can play so many different styles. And I think that's really important.
They're going to different answer. It's going to let Josh McDaniels do what Josh McDaniels does best, which is hunt matchups and be situational and
game planning,
game plan offense, baby.
Yep. All right, so a little show scheduling update.
Oh, wait, hang on. We got to do one more thing.
Okay, what is it?
We got to do 20-0.
We don't have time for that. We have 3 minutes.
Real quick.
All
right,
Real
offense,
quick.
16-20.
16-20. Brady.
All right, I think we've done 2017 Brady every time. And I'm going to click the right play this time. 21-25 offense.
I'm still going Diggs here.
Okay.
I think Diggs is their best offensive player in that period.
1,000-yard receiver, I feel like.
Ramondre would be the only other one.
Ooh. 93-98.
Ben Coates. Or Curtis Martin.
So it's 95. Curtis Martin had 1,500 yards and 14 touchdowns in 95.
Curtis Martin.
I think we go Curtis Martin here. Because we also still have Gronk.
Yeah.
11-15.
Gronk.
That would be 2011 Gronk.
The best Gronk.
Yeah. 99-05. We could add Corey Dillon as a flex.
Corey Dillon as a flex.
Or we have 99 Terry Glenn, 01 Troy Brown at 1,200 yards and 5 touchdowns.
I'm going Corey Dillon as a flex.
Clock killing Corey Dillon.
Can we get that's a nice thunder and lightning.
Now we got to see if we can get Moss. And 06-010 so we can get Randy Moss.
There you go.
All right, good start. 99-05 defense, cross the board.
Tyler Richard Seymour.
Not Willie?
Not Willie. Shout out Willie, though.
Where's Seymour? I feel like defensive tackle's tough. You want to go Seymour?
Seymour.
All right, we'll go Seymour at DT. 21-25.
This is where we always get tripped up.
Right. We do have a 15.5 sack Judon we could put in the
I
flex.
guess Judon. Yeah.
Let's throw Judon in the flex. I mean, we're going to have a pretty good pass rush here. 16-20.
16. Gilmore. Defensive Player of the Year, Gilmore.
2019 Steph Gilmore.
Yep.
99 to 05.
Oh, again. So we need like linebackers now, though, right? Because we
Yeah.
have corners, we have pass rushers.
Yeah, but like Willie counts as Willie only had 9 sacks though in his best year here.
We can't do Ty Law now, right?
We could go Teddy Bruschi. We can't do Tyler. We could go Rodney Harrison.
Okay, let's go Rodney Harrison.
03 Rodney Harrison is safe. So now we need a linebacker and an edge rusher. And we got 11 to 15.
Chandler Jones.
12.5 sack. Let me make sure I get Chandler Jones.
Yeah, you messed
and not
that up.
Chris Jones.
You messed that up last week. You did.
I got Chandler Jones at edge, and now we need a linebacker, 11 to 15. So we got 10 sack Andre Carter. We got 141 tackle Gerard Mayo.
We don't have Hightower in
We
that?
got Mark Anderson. Where is Hightower?
I guess Gerard Mayo is.
We got 2014 Hightower. Actually, this is pretty good. Mayo has the pure number on the tackles,
Right,
but
if
Hightower
we're-
has sacks.
But if we're trying to go for 20 and
tackles
0,
for loss.
Yeah,
All right, we'll go Dante Hightower in the middle. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
20 and 0.
We got
Finally, we did it.
So excited.
Finally, we did it. Let's go.
All right. Quick show schedule update here. So we are going to pre-record a show. We did ask for mailbag questions from all of you guys. We're going to do that. That show is going to be available to you next week on Wednesday, like the show normally would be. I am headed on my summer vacation for the next 2 weeks, so we won't have a live show for the next 2 weeks. And then I'll be back right before training camp starts on July 22nd, I think it is, right? The 24th is the first day. 22nd is Wednesday. July 22nd. So no live show the next 2 weeks, but we do have a pod that we're going to do for you guys so we don't leave you hanging for 2 straight weeks that we'll pre-record, and then we'll see you guys in 2 weeks right before training camp. I can't believe I'm saying that, but get ready.
I mean, it's the last time we're here before training camp week. That's crazy.
It is crazy. So we'll see you guys live in 2 weeks, and then we'll have the pre-recorded show for you guys as well in the mix there too. So we'll see you guys then. Enjoy the summer.
Bye.
Hey, this is Deuce. Thanks for tuning into the show. If you really want to help us, make sure you like us wherever you get your podcasts, like Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, make sure you follow us on the New England Patriots YouTube channel to see this show and everything else that we do here at the Patriots. Thanks a lot.